Good morning, welcome to Sewing Street. I know, look at all this, we've got so much excitement today. In fact, this is, I think, probably one of our biggest days here at Sewing Street ever, because we've got not one, not two, but three guests to talk to today. We've got a really jam-packed show, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce the early bird, because I believe you had a bit of a sneak peek of this yesterday anyway. Kat was in a bit of trouble yesterday. She found this item and asked Joe to find the code, because she says, I don't know where this is, but it's just been left on the desk for me. Little did she know that it was supposed to be today's early bird. So if you watched yesterday and you managed to get ahead of the queue, well done. It sold out the last time this was an early bird. It was, as I say, previewed yesterday, but today it is the official early bird. You know I'm like the early bird police, Kat. I'm always looking at the end of the day to see that it's been taken off the website now, but go for it. It's £8.99, and especially as loads of us are getting all prepared for Christmas. I think in the crafting world, we have to be a little bit more prepared than everybody else, organising ourselves for Christmas. How sparkly are they? You've got lovely purple. You can't even see them all. Let me open them out so you can see what you've got in here. Oh, can I? Can I? Oh, I can't remember that. I can't understand. I can't open them. Hang on. I'm terrible at opening packaging. Here we go. So, we've got the purple, the gold. We've got lovely pinks. Aren't they gorgeous? They're almost variegated a bit. Do you see what I mean? They've got purples in that one. That's gorgeous. Your lovely bright metallic silver, your bronze, and my favourite, this turquoisey greeny blue. That is beautiful. Now, I suppose if you're using them to embellish or using them for applique, you can use them in your sewing machine, but you'll just need to get a metallic sewing needle, basically. You'll need a needle, the right needle. Don't use it in your bobbin. It is for you. For the top of your machine, and just stitch nice and slowly, but it isn't going to it isn't at all going to break your machine. It's absolutely designed to go into your machine. You get 50 meters on each bobbin, 7 different colors. That's how many meters in total? 350 meters in total for £8.99. They're beautiful quality Gutermann threads, and an extra special value pack at £8.99. See, it makes it £1.28 per spool. Normally with Gutermann thread, you're generally looking around £1.70 to £2 a spool. Spooling you. £8.99. I'm just showing off because we've got guests here today. We're so excited. We've got loads to do this first hour as well. So check out your baskets on the early bird. Everybody's going to want to open their order nice and early, as it is only 1p&p all day long today. A really special price at £8.99. Just got them back in stock. As I said, they sold out the last time they were early bird, so we've got them back at that very special price. Your metallic effect thread for just £8.99. Okay, so this hour, let me talk to you about today's show. So we're introducing a brand new pattern company here at Sewing Street. It's the first time that we've ever had pattern preachers here, and we are very excited to be introducing 2 of their dressmaking patterns, especially after yesterday. I know that we had a dressmaking extravaganza as well, and virtually everything sold out, Kat was telling me. So we're really excited. You are going to love them. The patterns and the designs are beautiful. We're going to be doing some demo as well. If you see anything you like, the only problem was yesterday, everybody waited to the end of the hour to check out. And I know we are going to be enthralled meeting Navinda and meeting Gemma. So as soon as you see something you like, my one word of wisdom today is check out nice and early, as we are quite limited. So without further ado, shall we meet Navinda from Pattern Preachers? today. It's a very exciting day. Narinda, thank you ever so much for coming in today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? All
Jolly
right?
good. Very, very good, thank you. So let's start back from the beginning. Tell us about the Pattern Preacher. Who is the Pattern Preacher? Is it you?
No, it's not me. It's an idea that evolved from, we've got 30 years manufacturing experience, mainly for luxury end designers,
Right.
based in Leicester, which is a hotbed of textiles.
Yeah.
And I've always loved the art and crafts movement,
Yeah.
which was, you know, a Victorian idea about making things. It was set up originally to be anti the industrialisation, and we seem to have come a bit of full circle, taking pride in what we make, taking pride in the crafts, not making everything mass produced, and so that's what we started with.
Right.
And then when, you know, we've looked at patterns being, you know, they're not tissue paper, they're quite sturdy, they're premium end patterns.
Yeah, they
the
are.
quality of the paper will last for quite some time. And then the other current thing, which is close to the Pattern Preacher, is eco-sustainability. Yes, so we're using FSC paper. Yes, it's all you know, designed to take patterns well into the 21st century and away from, you know, perhaps where they've been before. There's a lot of younger people interested in, you know, sewing garments. So there's a lot of those things coming together in the Pattern Preacher.
Yeah, so you were the founder of the Pattern
Yes,
Preacher.
I was the founder of the Pattern Preacher. You know, we obviously had all the history of pattern cutting, sewing, and when I looked at you know, the patterns that are currently on the market, there were certain areas that I felt that, you know, so we have a QR scan code on the patterns,
we noticed
which
that.
you know, you can go through straight to the video. Yes, and you know, the 6 patterns that we've launched, classic shapes, yes, which you know, are not too difficult to make. Yes, and you know, there's the dungarees, there's the, you know, there's the Olivia with the, you know, shirred panel, flattering, but hopefully we'll be adding, you know, more as we go forward.
Yeah, I love the fact that a lot of your patterns as well, like you say, it's beautiful quality pattern paper. Your instruction booklets are all broken down beautifully, aren't they, as well? So for anybody who is starting out dressmaking, as I know so many people, especially over the last few months, have been getting into crafting and getting into dressmaking, these patterns are ones that, you know, somebody can pick up, and along with the tutorials and the booklets, are going to be able to conquer.
Yes, and beyond that, we've got an online portal. So yeah, even with the QR scan code, looking at the YouTube video, if you have any problems or issues with, you know, feel, you know, you're welcome to come through the online portal for additional help.
Yeah, you've got a really good online presence, actually. I saw your Instagram followers. You've got a lot of Instagram followers.
So there's a lot of you know, interaction with the people that hopefully make the garments. And I think also there has been, particularly recently, the other thing that we weren't so conscious of but is nevertheless true, is the kind of mindfulness of making your own clothes, of spending time, you know, developing your skills, but you know, also using your time productively.
I'm really pleased that we've got the Pattern Preacher on board, actually, because this is exactly why our founder, Steve Bennett, he wanted to open the channel, was because of mindfulness and sustainability. And so I think this is a perfect addition. So brilliant. Thank you ever so much for coming in. I know you've literally just popped in for 5 minutes just to come and introduce yourself.
No,
and we're going to be with Gemma, aren't we, for the rest of the hour, doing some demos.
Yes, thank you.
You do sew though as well, don't you?
I sew, yes.
We have to get you on then as well.
I look forward to it. Yes.
Thank you ever so much, and happy birthday to your wife, because
thank
you're
you
off
very
for lunch
much.
now, aren't you?
Yes.
Cheap lunch, 50% off.
Yes, all right. Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
you.
We're going to get Gemma on.
Okay.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the watch live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page. Oh, I told you we were going to have a busy day. Gemma, it's lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You okay?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Are you nervous? You're all right?
I'm all right, to be fair. Let's
Good.
just hope a needle doesn't break.
No. We did touch wood earlier. She was like, I'll be fine. I'm just hoping I don't break a needle. I was like, don't jinx yourself the first time on telly.
No, hopefully I'll be okay.
So what's your role then with the Pattern Preacher?
So my title is marketing manager.
Right.
And predominantly what I kind of mostly involved in is more the demonstrating side. Obviously you've seen on the VT I've done the videos as well.
Oh.
And I have a lot of involvement in kind of like the content of the booklets and development of new styles really. So
Amazing.
a lot of sort of product related stuff, which is fun.
So you've been sewing for a long time, since you were very young.
I have, yeah. So when I was a lot younger, my nan used to take me to a lot of patchwork and quilting workshops. So that's kind of where it started. But my first kind of fashion related garment was, it was a bag that I made out of an old pair of jeans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of started from there really, and then I've kind of done my degree in design, I've worked in merchandising and production, so I've kind of always sewn throughout my career.
Ah, amazing. So we're going to look at two patterns. I know that we're going to be introducing over the foreseeable sort of next few weeks or so, we're going to be seeing another 3 shows with 4 different patterns. These two, I know Narinda was telling me earlier that these are potentially some of your most popular patterns anyway.
Yeah, so obviously you've got the Olivia T Dress, which is really popular because obviously it's very summery, and you've got the Shearing Elastic waistband here, which we'll be doing today. I'll be showing how to do that, which obviously just gives that sort of sense of comfort.
Yeah.
And it is just a very sophisticated but cute and easy to wear dress. And then the Sienna, which is inspired by the palazzo pant, it's very tight fitted around the waist, which is obviously, again, very flattering. And then it kind of shapes out into like a flare. So it's a sort of trouser that you can either dress up or you can wear it more casually, really.
Brilliant. So that's coming up later on. We're going to start with the tea dress, though. I'm going to leave you to do as much, because we want to show as much as we possibly can as far as demo is concerned. The booklet, though, that you say that you have a lot of involvement in the content. It's ever so clear when I was having a look through this morning.
That's good to hear. Thank you. Great. You know, a lot of time has been spent on the booklet. So we start off with what you need. So we obviously can either provide that or you can purchase it separately depending on the fabric you go for. Fabric prep's very important. It's just more about things to take note of for cutting, for ironing as well. Always make sure that you practice ironing your fabric and always iron it before you cut, because it can be very challenging to cut with creases in.
Right.
It then moves on to kind of your sizing and your costings and lay plans. So with sizings, we do offer body measurements, and this is really good for our customers to know kind of what sizings we work towards. So if you're ever unsure, always refer to the body measurements, and that will kind of help you. Lay plans we offer, so on the Olivia we have just a 60-inch whip fabric, but we do offer 45-inch.
Yeah.
And then it moves on to the step-by-step instructions, which hopefully is clear, but if it's not, like Narinda mentioned, we do have the QR scan, which takes us through to our videos as well.
It's brilliant. I've noticed you've got a real great online presence. So you've got fantastic, loads of different images of these dresses and different fabrics as well on your Instagram. And it's lovely to see how versatile it is actually. You can use it with lots of different fabrics.
Definitely, yes. So obviously we have fabrics that we can offer with it, but customers are more than welcome to kind of use what they want. On the Gabby dress, which is a different dress, we've actually had that made in a velvet before, which is very different. It makes it more evening wear.
Lovely.
So yeah, you can kind of really mix and match whatever you want.
Amazing. Right, so you said that you want to show the shearing. What part do you want to do first?
Yeah, so with the shearing elastic, I just basically wanted to show how you do it because it can be a little bit temperamental, and I don't want people to be scared by it. It is one of the most challenging parts of the garment, but it's also the most fun part as well. So if anybody's not aware of shearing elastic, it's basically a thread that is very elasticated. And when it's really important how you apply it to the bobbin. You need to make sure that you pull it on quite tightly. So you won't be able to probably do it on your machine. You'll have to do it by hand, just to make sure that tension is super tight on the bobbin.
Right, we have got shear elastic. I think this might be the first time that we've had shearing elastic. It's just £1.99 and it is different to elastic, isn't it? It is a special type of thread.
Yeah, so it's
just
kind
in
of
the cellar.
Yeah, it basically goes in your bobbin. You don't put it on your top thread, you put it in your bobbin. So it kind of, there's one that I done earlier, it kind of is a bit like that.
Nice.
So it creates that ruching. Now you can see the lines aren't exactly straight because it can be challenging, but we do have on our pattern, we've got on the notches here, this indicates kind of how far distance you should do your lines. So I'm going to basically unpin this and I'm going to show you that you obviously can mark it with, an invisible pen, or if you're confident enough, you can just go straight onto the machine.
Now, the pattern, by the way, is a brilliant size variation as well, from size 6 to size 20, isn't it?
Yeah, so size 6 to 20 for the UK sizes, and then it's 2 to 16 for the USA.
Right.
We also do a Europe size as well. So all three conversions are all on the pattern as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So on the back of the pattern, which is the second image on the website, or on the description on the website, you will be able to see, in fact, Joe might even have a little close-up of the sizes, just so you can see how much fabric you need. The most amount of fabric you're going to need, correct me if I'm wrong, Gemma, is 2.5 metres for the largest size.
That is correct. That's for the biggest size that you need, I think it's 2.5 metres.
Fantastic. So have a quick screenshot of that, or have a look if you want to measure yourself. I think it's really important, isn't it, to get used to measuring yourself, as we're all sort of different size 12s or 14s or 10s. It can be different, varying between patterns or shops.
Definitely. I think the good thing with the Olivia is obviously it kind of ruches into your waist. So like myself, I've got a smaller waist, but I'm a little bit bigger on the hips.
Yeah.
So this is a flattering dress for us, that kind of body shape. But even if you are very, slim, it suits all shapes, to be honest with you. And you've got that comfort there, so it will stretch to kind of the need that it needs to, or not shrink, not stretch at all. So
yeah. Brilliant, thank you.
Would you like me to show you how to do it? So on here, so you'll see the notches on the pattern. You can see I've slightly cut them on the fabric here. So I'm just going to show you how to do one today, because it does take quite a while to do this. I'd probably say about 15 minutes just on this waistband, so it is the most key part. And I'm just going to use a metal ruler today to draw a straight line. My top tip when I do it, I actually find it's better to start in the middle of the waistband, because you've got more fabric to hold either side then. And you're basically just going to, you can either use a disappearing pen, or you can use a chalk, tailor's chalk, whatever you prefer. And you're just going to draw on there the line on where it needs to be. So you can kind of see one here that I've drawn already, but we're going to go all the way down. So I'm just going to do it up to here, and then you would carry it on and go all the way to the end there. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera, probably
Just
not so
about.
well. There is a very, very faint blue line. You can probably see it more on the white of the flower. And then before we actually go on the waistband, what I would advise is you just practice on a scrap bit of fabric, just to make sure you've got that tension right, because it can be a bit fiddly. So try and remember, so foot down.
Yeah, we have given you like the spaceship of sewing machines to work with.
It's a very, very snazzy machine.
You've got a Janome though, haven't you? So it's
yeah,
very
so I'm
similar.
slightly familiar with it.
Pauline's asked a question. She said, how much thread did she ask? I'd probably go for 200 metres if I'm you. She said, how much thread would I need to buy for a size 14 dress? Not necessarily the shearing elastic,
just
thread.
Yeah, just one spool is more than enough. Yeah,
Okay.
and in terms of your shearing elastic, I find one bobbin, complete bobbin, is enough to do the whole waistband. So again, just one spool of thread's fine.
Right, so you get 20 metres on that.
That should be sufficient. Yeah, regardless of the size, that should be enough.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can just see here on the scrap bit of fabric I've done, you can see here, so obviously it stretches open and it stretches closed, so that is how it's done basically. And that's
when
a good
you
example.
sewed through with the machine, you didn't pull it at all, you're
No.
just sewing
you just guide it basically. So I'm going to do it on the actual waistband
Okay.
now, so you can kind of see a bit more length to it, and make sure you stitch on the right side as well. That's something I forgot to say.
Okay.
Always stitch on the right side of the fabric unless it says otherwise.
So you're going down the centre line first.
Yeah, I'm going to go down the middle.
Oh no. What's it saying?
3 thread and start. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no, we jinxed
We
it. We
spoke
jinxed
too
it.
soon. Okay, right, let me... Is there a reason why it won't lift up?
Press your cutting thread again. Press the cutter and that should just...
Okay, let's have a little look what it's not happy with.
Not only are you showing us how to dress, you're also showing us how to troubleshoot it. Is it the bobbin? It's just having a bit
It's
of
just got a little bit caught. There's
with
just a
the
little bit
bobbin.
in there, yeah. Let's try again.
By the way, the pattern already selling very, very quickly. And in fact, people are going ahead and getting the sienna pants as well. The sienna trousers are beautiful.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
There you go, a bit happier now.
Perfect. So as I'm stitching, you will see that the fabric's gathering behind it. Don't be worried about that. That is just where the bobbin is kind of releasing. Because obviously we've stretched it on, it's releasing it into the waistband basically. I'm just going to stop there just so you can kind of see what it looks like with and without it.
How's this fabric to work with? Because this is quite a lightweight. Is it a viscose?
Yeah, this is a polyviscose, I believe. It's a nice fabric to work with. It's very lightweight.
Yeah.
It can move quite easily.
Right.
But that's, you know, it's not difficult to work with. It's fine. So, you can probably see here. So this is the right side, so you can see how it's ruched together.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then that's the wrong side, so you can see it ruches like that. And then what you simply do is you just do, there's nine notches, so you do it 9 times, and it creates this waistband that I've done earlier on.
It's so effective, isn't it? And I find that really comfortable to wear.
It's really, and especially when it's hot as well. You
Yeah.
don't want it to be uncomfortable, you want it to be really easy.
Especially after lockdown, it's really nice to just be able to stretch just another
Getting
couple
out
of
your
inches.
tracksuit bottoms into a dress.
Yeah, absolutely. The fabric, by the way, we've bundled 2.5 meters together, which is enough for the largest size, which, as we say, is a size 20 for £39.49, and it really is so beautiful and floaty, very, very cool, lovely on the skin. You know, you've used white shearing elastic. I've got an option of black. Would you tend to go with what colour fabric you're going with? So if you're going for a darker navy blue,
definitely, yeah. So I've gone with white today just so there's a slight contrast, so it's easier to show. But always try and go with a shearing elastic that matches the base colour of your fabric.
Right, okay. So we have got the black option as well. It's only £1.99. Brilliant, thank you. That's a good technique. So the dress itself, do you think this is for somebody who might have done a bit of dressmaking in the past, or with your instructions and video tutorials, do you think somebody who was a relatively adventurous beginner
Yeah,
could have a go?
yeah, this one is an adventurous beginner. So it's a little bit, so it's if you've done a few and you kind of wanted the next challenge, you want to try it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say, yeah, if you've done a few garments and you're ready to sort of try something new, that's kind of where you'd be at with that one.
Fab, thank you. Right, so
I was just also going to say that we offer French seams as well with our patterns. So I'll just show you on our pattern.
see, whenever I see French seams, I think, oh, that is a very sort of couture technique. It looks, it is just a way of, but actually, it's really easy, and once you know how to do it, it's a lovely way of concealing your inside seams.
Yeah,
right.
so that's a French seam. So it, like you said, it's a slightly more difficult way to do an internal seam, but it just, that finish is just a lot more cleaner and neater. So on our patterns, we offer a 1 centimetre seam allowance on all
Lovely
of
quality
them.
pattern paper as well.
Yeah, so this is the FSC paper that Narinda was talking about.
Right.
So it's a quite heavyweight paper, but it just means that the customers can reuse it and it won't get too damaged, basically. So yeah, we offer a 1 centimetre seam allowance, and in our booklet, we offer a glossary terminology booklet in with the instruction manual, and it does actually explain to you on how to do a French seam. But I was actually just going to go through it today, if that's okay as well, just to show the process of how you do that.
That's really good, because so many dressmaking patterns I've picked up, they just say, you know, add dot here or RST, and you're thinking, what does that mean? It's right sides together, and instead of actually spelling it out, whereas the glossary really helps.
Yeah, definitely. It just kind of, within the booklet, there's a lot of terminologies used, like a notch or seam allowance, and it's kind of explaining what that actually means.
Brilliant.
So we've done it as a separate booklet, so you can always have that by your side if you need to refer to it. So it is super handy. It's like a little guide.
Nice.
Okay, so a French seam, I just showed earlier on, it looks like this. Now, normally in dressmaking, you always sew right sides together, but with a French seam, you break the rules a little bit and you do the opposite. So you're going to sew wrong sides together first. So I am just going to do on the side seam of this bodice. So you might find it easier to pin it in place because this fabric moves ever so slightly. So you just pin it like that. Now, although the pattern says 1 centimetre seam allowance, I'm going to do a French seam that finishes at 7mm, which is how we instruct it. The reason being is just because it finishes a little bit more nicely, but you can always do a French seam that finishes at 1 centimetre. Okay. So change my bobbin. Don't want to be sewing with shearing elastic on the French seam.
Denise has asked a question.
Okay.
Did you mark on the wrong side of the fabric? Sew on the right side. Oh, you know when you're doing the waistband. So would you mark on the right side of your fabric?
Yeah. You'd mark on. Well, it depends actually, because it depends what you're using.
Yeah.
So if you're using a tailor's chalk, you might find it easy to do it on the wrong side. But if you're doing an invisible pen, you can do it on the right side. Again, it also depends what fabric you're using and how visible your tool's going to be on it. Does that help?
Yeah. Have you got any male dressmaking patterns in the making? We've got lots of gents asking if we've got any up and coming in the pipework in the.
It has been on the agenda, but we've not done it yet. But it is something we definitely were thinking about.
We will keep you in the loop.
I've actually just let me just check. Sorry, I've pinned the wrong bit.
So this is wrong sides together.
Yeah, so you start off with wrong sides together.
Don't forget to get your questions in for Gemma. It's very exciting to have, for the first time ever, and a TV exclusive as well, isn't it, The Pattern Preacher?
Yes, definitely. It's my fault, I'm stitching the wrong.
You're pinning the wrong side.
I'm pinning the wrong bit on. Sorry, bear with me.
No, don't worry. Do it all the time. Those of you that want to get any of your messages in, by the way, it's studio@sewingstreet.com. Studio@sewingstreet.com. Any emails, they'll go through to my producer, who is Kat today, up in the gallery, so we can ask any questions for Gemma. Also, the sizes, don't forget, are on the description on the website, but here's a closer look. So it ranges from size 6 right up to size 20. Measure yourself. It's a good habit to get into when you're looking at different patterns. Of course, I think this is a reason lots of us get into dressmaking, isn't it? Out of sheer frustration of going into shops and things not fitting correctly.
Yeah, definitely. That's a massive reason why we've kind of created these patterns, because it allows the customer to make it in the fabric they want and make it more unique to their needs. Okay, let's try again.
So what is it that you've pinned? Which side?
So we've pinned the right sides of the fabric together, and we're now just going to do a straight lock stitch down to obviously attach the panels together.
Okay. You don't want to break a needle on edge. It's like, right, I'm stopping and taking the pins off.
I'm not risking it.
It's a bit different telly sewing.
Definitely.
Especially standing up. Is this the first time you've done standing up sewing?
It is actually, yeah. Normally I've sat at my little sewing table. It's all right. Just going to take the pins out as we go. Don't want no accidents today on TV. Okay, so I've probably not done this the best, but it just gives you an idea. So normally that should be in line with that, so just ignore my really poor sewing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut next to this stitch line with your fabric scissors.
So quite close to it.
Yeah, so really, really close to it, because when you turn it back, you don't want to be able to see the fabric coming through. So I've cut it. You can see there's minimal amount next to it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, now I'm just going to turn the iron on because I now need to press it.
Could you pinking shear it, or do you want to just use an
you can use pinking shears, yeah, it's whatever you prefer. I prefer fabric shears just because I find it cuts a lot more clean.
Okay.
But with it being such a small part of the garment, you could use pinking shears, yeah.
So what other fabrics would you recommend for this pattern as well? Is there any, could you use it with, I'm trying to think of, they're suggesting in the gallery saying, would it work with linen?
You could use linen. So in our booklet, where is it? We actually do recommend certain fabrics that we think. So we've put here polyester crepe, cotton satin, polyviscose, crepe de chine, viscose, rayon, satin, poplin, lightweight. And if you do want to use stripes at all or a placement, then you do need to allow a bit more fabric for that.
Yeah.
So we have put on each pattern and each style, there are recommendations
loads of fabrics
there.
That you can
yeah,
use
loads you can choose from. Okay, so you're just going to press it open, and then what I find easy is if you just fold it in half, fold it where your stitch line is, and you're going to stitch it flat down like that. Just so when you're stitching now what you're going to do is you're going to stitch down here.
Okay.
So it just makes it easier.
It's worth having a good look, rummage through our website. There's loads of fabrics that I think would be beautiful with this dress. Cotton poplin.
You're gonna hate me, I'm just gonna unpick it because I've actually stitched the wrong bit.
Don't worry.
Let me just unpick that bit.
You unpick as your best friend a lot of the time.
Literally, you spend just as much time unpicking as you do sewing. What might be quicker is I would just do it on another bit of fabric.
Okay. Yeah, this is just to show you how to do the French seam, isn't it?
Yeah. So if I just cut a bit here, let's do it again. I'm not exactly making it look easy. It is quite easy once you get it right though. So.
Everybody won't have the pressure of being on telly, and having me.
So.
Me like a hawk staring at them. Right sides, no, wrong sides together.
So wrong side, so when you stitch and then it's going to tuck inside like that. So you're going to do wrong sides together first. I'm not going to pin it just to save a bit of time.
Oh, we're still good for time, Gemma. We've got 25 minutes left.
Oh, okay, great.
So have you altered your stitch lengths on this at all, or are you just doing
No, you just use the normal stitch and then don't forget to back tack.
Okay.
So normal stitch length, you don't need to change it at all for a French theme. And then we're just gonna do what I've done before, so cut really close to the seam.
Does it mean that we can get you in for patchwork and quilting as well then? Or do you still do any patchwork?
I haven't done it for ages, to be fair. Obviously, it is very, like, it's quite repetitive, but it can be quite therapeutic at the same time, can't it?
Yeah.
So now you can see, so what I'd done wrong before is I'd sewn on the wrong sides, but you need to sew on the right sides first. So now what's going to happen is when you stitch here, that seam's going to go inside, so you don't see it on the outside. So that's kind of what I'd done wrong last time.
You just did it to show everybody, you know, this is what you might do at home and this is how to rectify it.
Yeah, basically.
It's all on purpose.
Happy accident. Okay, so it looks like this, basically. And then what you're going to do is you're going to open that up, and you need to just make sure your seam is pressed to the side. So normally we say push it to the back of the garment.
Okay.
So for instance, I was meant to be doing a side seam, so I'd push that to the centre back, basically.
Okay. It's really important, isn't it, to press at every stage to get the professional finish and that crisp.
Definitely, and you just find it makes it easier for you as well. So that is a French seam. So on the outside, you cannot tell any difference what it is, and then on the right side, on the wrong side, you can see that I've pushed the seam to the side there.
Lovely. Brilliant.
Great.
Thank you. All instructions. So you say there is an option of in case you see it seems in that way as well. So it is all in the booklet.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Right, yeah. So is there another part that you want to show?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to show you something else.
Yeah.
So, the next thing on the Olivia, which is what we do on the skirt of the hem and on the sleeve of the hem, is basically a simple hem turn. So, if I show you
I love
one,
those sleeves as well. They're so flattering,
they
aren't they? They're
yeah.
lovely.
They're really nice
floaty.
shape. They just flow really nice over the shoulder. So for the hem turn, it is very simple, but again, I'm just going to show you the technique on the best way to do it. So you start off with overlocking the end of the sleeve. So you overlock it, and then what I've done here, I've prepped this already, is I find it easier to press it. If you press it up by 1 centimetre, or you can pin it down, whatever you prefer, remove the pins as you go.
If I don't have an overlocker, is there another way of finishing the edges?
Yeah, if you don't have an overlocker, you can simply zigzag it, which most domestic machines have a zigzag option on there as well, so you can do that. So once it's overlocked, like I said, you then turn it, and what you're going to do is you're going to align the edge of your foot to the edge of the fabric, and you're simply just going to stitch this so that stitches down and it's not like basically loose.
And this is before your sleeves are inserted?
This is before your sleeves are inserted, yeah.
It is beautiful fabric, and I suppose you don't need to worry too much about the direction of print and pattern matching.
No, not particularly on this one. We do have grain lines on our pattern, so you do need to make sure that they're respected, just to make sure that when you're wearing the garment, it's not going to sort of sit funny on one side and the other. The grain lines are quite important, but we have made it really clear on that. And again, it does explain what a grain line is in there.
Right.
So with this sleeve, because it's a curve, you will find if you don't handle it correctly, it will slightly ripple. So you just need to kind of guide that quite gently. Or you can turn down the speed of the stitching, that might help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a steep curve, is it?
No, it's not massively steep. Because you're not stitching on the straight grain, it can kind of ripple ever so slightly if you don't control it. Just make sure that's caught it down.
Is it behaving itself?
It is, yeah. I just need to catch it down a bit more.
How do you make sure that you're catching it? Just literally
So
look.
yeah, like I should have really looked a bit sooner because I've missed by about 2 mil ever so slightly. But what you do is once you've stitched the first bit, you can just flick it back and just make sure that you have caught it, because it's, I mean, you should check as you go, because there's nothing more annoying than doing what I've just done and you get to the end and you realise you've not quite caught it down.
It is good being able to have those variable speed controls though, isn't it, at points like this, just to be able to slow it down. And
yeah, definitely, it helps it, especially with this being a part that you need to kind of concentrate on. Get there slowly.
who taught you to do dressmaking then? Did your grandma do dressmaking as well as quilting?
No, my nan's not really ever been much into dressmaking, to be honest with you. It was probably more throughout my degree. I did do like a short course in clothes, because my degree was in textiles.
Right.
So I done a short course in clothes making, and then it's a lot of it I've picked up as well from just working in the industry as well, to be honest with you.
When did you join the Pattern Preacher then? How long have you been?
Quite recently, at the beginning of the year.
And then they've thrown you straight on the telly.
Yeah. Yeah, well obviously we've done the video tutorials, which is hopefully going to be beneficial for customers. Okay, and then back tack. Okay. So, going to ignore the first line I've done, maybe show this section. So you can see here, I've done a contrast stitch, so you can see the difference that you're catching down the overlock thread. So that's kind of how it looks. And then this is one that I've done before, which is correct.
Just be careful of your head.
Which you can see again. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry. Which you can see again here as well. So
mind your head.
You can kind of see how it should finish.
Oh,
so that finish that you do there, we show you to do that for the sleeve and for the hem. So it's the same process basically. So it's a simple overlock, turn, and then stitch it down.
Oh, lovely. Can we turn it around? Because does this have a zip or not? How is this fastened?
Yeah, so this garment does have a centre back zip. So it's a concealed invisible zip. Can you see that? Okay, yeah. So basically, yeah, invisible zip, and then it's kind of hidden behind the facing, so you turn that back. Mm-hmm. It is really important with the zip that you kind of get the right angle corner. And in our booklet, we kind of do explain, you push that out with what you call a point turner, which is like a little plastic tool that you push through, and just make sure you trim the seam allowance so there's not too much bulk at the top as well, making sure that that fits quite nice and flat, so it's not too bulky.
Yeah, it's lovely. The concealed zips, by the way, we do have a few on the website in different colours, so just type in concealed zips. And I actually find that a lot of people say, oh, are they harder? But they're sometimes easier than actually...
Yeah, I think I'd probably say the zip is, again, one of the most complex components to the garment. It's the most challenging part, but again, it isn't that difficult as long as you've got an invisible zipper foot. Have we got one in here to show? So basically your teeth will go inside the gap here,
right?
And it kind of makes it a lot easier to sew. It gets the stitch line really, really close to the teeth.
So this is different to your zipper foot, isn't it? This is a concealed.
This is a concealed zipper foot. Yeah. So this is if you've got an invisible zip, basically.
Right, amazing. Yeah, because that's a gorgeous finish to just have that lovely concealed zip.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And there are other parts that you want to show. Is there anything else?
The only other thing I would just like to sort of point out is, I've already stitched it. So obviously on the shoulders, you can see here that it is slightly gathered, which again just creates a little bit more sophistication. And I just wanted to show really how you can do that. Now, I don't actually have a gathering foot on my machine. You can purchase it, but a really simple way to do it is if you increase your stitch length longer, and you just do a straight stitch. You then pull your bobbin thread, and that creates the gather. It's as simple as that.
Right. Okay.
And then you insert the shoulder, you attach that to the back.
Are the notches on the pattern of where to
Yes,
gather?
they are. Let me show you. So, this is the back pattern piece. So you've got notches here. And then on the front, you've also got notches as well. Mm-hmm. So it actually does say here, gather 7 centimetres.
Okay.
Now, if you're a bit unsure about, the measurement, or you don't quite know, then what's best to do is gather it and make sure that your front gathering matches the back pattern piece like that.
Okay.
So then when you go to attach it, your back shoulder, I'll show you on here, your back shoulder should then be in line the same length basically, so you can stitch it together like so. So you can see that they're the same width basically. So
do you do 2 lines of gathering stitches?
You just do one.
Just one.
And I would recommend that you do it within your seam allowance. So do it maybe 5 mil or 7 mil, you know, so when you stitch the 2 shoulders together, you can't see the stitch line on the outside.
Ah, good tip. Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you. What is that, sorry, Kat? Oh, somebody's asked as well, can I lengthen the pattern at all? Can I make it into a full-length maxi?
You can do, yeah. We don't offer that on the pattern, but you can simply add the length to it. It is quite easy to do if you're happy and confident to do that.
Yeah.
And you can lengthen the sleeve. Like, we obviously suggest to only turn by 1 centimetre, but you might want to cut the sleeve and do a smaller turn or a bigger turn, or you might want to lengthen the sleeve. That's something you can do as well.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
No worries, thank you.
So you're going to be back in an hour with the trousers, the Sienna trousers, which you've already been checking out.
Yes.
They're lovely. I think ever since, wasn't there something similar on the Sewing Bee where they did the palazzo pants?
Yes.
I was like, oh, I really want to make a pair of those.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it's a very, very classic look. We're going to be doing some demos on the waistband, how you make the waistband and attach that.
Fantastic. Thank you ever so much,
Great,
Gemma.
thank you very much.
We're going to have a bit of a recap on all the bundles and have a good look at the fabric. And yeah, we'll see you in an hour. Thank you, Gemma.
Thank you.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. It's a gorgeous dress, isn't it? I know loads of people that would love this dress. And I must say, the attention to detail, when you get this home and you feel even like the thickness of this packet, there's so much in here. £15.99. And just to remind you that the sizes range from size 6 to size 20. The back of the pattern, it's got all of the sizes, all of your requirements. I think the width of our fabric is 145 centimetres, so you can follow the fabric requirements on the back of the pattern for 145 centimetres, but it is a beautiful tea dress, isn't it? Especially this sort of time of year. We're always muggy and it's really hot, but then I think this would be lovely as well in the more sort of autumnal. You can have a nice thick pair of tights and a jacket as well. It's going to look lovely. But the great thing about it, those of us that are maybe adventurous beginners and wanting to try new techniques, there's lots of techniques in here. French seams and the shearing. You've got different ways of doing the hems. You've got your concealed zip. So it's a real skill builder, isn't it? There's lots you're going to be learning in here. £15.99. It comes with obviously your booklet. It also has the QR reader. Now, when we went to take a picture of this earlier on, basically, as soon as you put your camera on it, it will instantly just jump to, do you want to open this website, which will take you straight to the video, which is brilliant. You can also, of course, jot down today's date and watch Gemma's demonstration back on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at any point. Don't forget, you also get, this is brilliant, your little glossary. Look how great that is. So it will explain to you all of the different terminologies like your notch, your dart, right side and wrong side together, edge stitch, under stitch, top stitch, back tack, stay stitch, even press and grain line. It's got all of your glossary, plus where it sort of refers to in the pattern, and then all different equipment that you might need. So if you don't have a gathering foot, it's fine. I know that Gemma's just taught us a technique of how to do it if you don't have a gathering foot. Invisible zipper foot, which we're going to have a look on the website and see if we've got it. Buttonhole, point turner, lock stitch foot. If you've got a lot of the machines that we stock, generally come with a lot of those different feet, the different feet included, but that's all there in the booklet. £15.99. Right, so this one. We started with a lot of these in stock, but it's very, very busy. So please do check out of your order as soon as you can, as they are selling very quickly. Very exciting to have the Pattern Preacher. The first time ever, a TV debut. Now, the fabric that Gemma was using is this one. It's 2.5 metres for £39.49. It looks beautiful. If you are maybe nervous about using a viscose, this beautiful lawn weight, then just pin. You saw it actually behaved itself for Gemma, didn't it? Just make sure you're taking it slow, pinning and doing, taking your speed right down on your machine. Now this one, it's 140 wide. This is 140 wide. 2.5 metres is enough fabric to be able to do the largest size of the pattern. So if you are doing a smaller size, you're going to have plenty of fabric to have a real good play around with there. And it looks so beautiful in that navy blue. Going to work perfectly with the tea dress. We've also got some other options of fabrics. Now these are by the ½ metre, so have a good look on the back of the pattern and see how much fabric you need for your size. This is going to be beautiful as well. Right, so if you do want to make the larger size, remember that's 5 units that you'll need. It's just £7.99 ½ metre. That's really pretty. This is again a viscose, which is so soft. It feels really silky soft. It's really pretty. And I must say, it's great for this weather. It's nice and cool, isn't it? Just £7.99 ½ metre, and the print on that's really pretty. You will have to watch with that one because that has got a bit more of a direction, hasn't it? Obviously, Gemma said that the grain line on the pattern pieces is really, really clear. They'll help you with if you do want to do any pattern matching and stripes and things with fabric, maybe go for a bit more fabric. Now, the final one, this will look beautiful as well. I don't know which my favourite is. Do you know what? I think that's going to look gorgeous. That's so nice. £7.99. The little stars. Can you see their little stars? Let me show you. They're all beautiful little stars that are building up the birds. So nice. £7.99 ½ metre. Remember, if you do want to make the largest size, which is a size 20, you will need 5 units, 2.5 metres. Just £7.99 ½ metre. Oh, we have, amazing. So you saw the concealed zip, which looks like this, a concealed zip foot, I should say. Now this one is the Janome one. Does it mean the width, the 9mm width? I'm sure this is a 9mm width. £19 is a category BC. Have a look on the website. Obviously, your Janome foot, it's under the same umbrella as Elna. So if you've got any of the Janome or Elna sewing machines that are category B or C, then this will work in conjunction with it. It's just £99. If you do want to get a concealed zip to go with your concealed zip foot, if you jump to the website, www.sewingstreet.com, it will redirect you to Jewellery Maker. Don't worry, that's the right place. And yes, type in at the top, Joe, concealed zip, please. Concealed, go on, have a go. He's never spelling it. Concealed. I'm no better than you. There it is. Found it. No. We want the zips. Keep going. There you go. Right. So we've got black and we've got blackberry. They're only £3.49. If you do want to stock up your dressmaking stash, they are available on the web shop. Now, they'll sell out today, by the way. They're really, really limited now. So if you do want any of the concealed zips, make the most of it. Now, one real cool technique that we learned was the shearing elastic. So remember, this is just to be used in your bobbin. Now, the shearing elastic we've got in white and in black, just depending on what fabric you're using. Don't get me wrong, you don't see it anywhere near as much as I thought you would when Gemma did the demonstration. You couldn't see it really clearly through, could you? But it still should say match up with your fabric. So if you're doing a lighter fabric, this one will be ideal. If you want to do the darker fabrics, any of the ones that maybe we've had today, potentially this one will be better. For £1.99, you've got more than enough there. There's 20 metres on there, so plenty. Now, I don't know whether we've had this on the show before. Not the lightweight. This is the soft and light iron-on white interfacing. Now, we didn't mention earlier, but the facing, the main facing, it has got just your lightweight interfacing in there. You have, I think, a metre piece in here, which is more than enough. Yeah, it's 90 by 50 centimetres. £2.99. Again, more than enough for this garment. Just £2.99, and that's an iron-on one, not a sewing and an iron-on. Right, all of the other little bits and bobs, if you do want any glass head pins or needles or any of our marking tools that we saw Gemma using, have a look on the web shop, they are there. Now, also, I just wanted to quickly recap the early bird special today. We did it really, really quick, a lot quicker than normal, as we had a lot to do this hour, but £8.99, and you can get all 7 of your metallic effect threads. They are beautiful colours. I'm thinking of embellishing lots of lovely Christmas decorations. The cushions that we're making after the break would look great with a bit of a metallic embellishment as well. Just £8.99 for all 7. You've got 50 metres on each spool. That your price per spool is fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant value for money on those. Don't forget to check out on any of your patterns, any of your bits and bobs, and of course the early bird. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that while we get Sarah on. Don't go anywhere. We're back with a beautiful, beautiful kit to make some great cushions right after this. If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw, and as a professional sewer, I really know how important it is to use a high quality thread. Well, you think about it. You spend a lot of money on your sewing machine, you'll spend a lot of money on fabric, and you'll spend a lot of time sewing. So why let your thread let you down? I know a lot of our designers and customers prefer to use Aurifil thread. Now, this is a family business. It was established in 1983 and they're based just outside Milan in Italy. They produce superior quality threads for domestic and professional sewers alike, and they've achieved worldwide success with quilters, sewers, embroiderers and textile artists who all appreciate the versatility and the strength of these threads. It's all made from Egyptian cotton, which is grown just at the side of the River Nile, and Aurifil only use the long staple threads, which gives their thread that strength. Each one of these threads goes through 15 steps before it even gets onto a spool and then comes to you to use in your sewing projects. Now at Sewing Street, we've collaborated with Aurifil and we've brought you 2 collections of threads. So we have the Quiltes Collection, and these are exclusive to Sewing Street. We've done a lot of research with quilters, and these are the colours that you prefer to use. So we put a whole collection together for you. The second collection is the Essential Collection. So this is for the homemakers, for the bag makers, for the craft sewers, for the dressmakers. And again, these have been proven to be the most popular colours that you're going to use. So if you want your projects to last longer and your seams to be stronger, invest in some quality thread.
Hello everyone, I'm Darphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. and then I went full circle, and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it, so now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Darphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles, and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle, and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it, so now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Oh, it's a busy day today. We're doing my Sarah this hour. I'm really, really excited to, if there's something, there's something for everybody today, isn't there? Having, a bit of soft furnishings, a bit of quilting, dressmaking. Love it, love it, love it. And I must say, this book is amazing. I will talk with Sarah about this because I know that she's as big of a fan of it as I am. I love this book. I always have. When we had this in last, I can't even remember the last time I saw it. It was ages ago, and it completely sold out. So I'm really, really pleased that we've got it back, especially to do some great demos with. And what I love, it literally says on the back, it's your quilt, it's your rules. So the great thing for anybody who is a bit of a rebellious sewer, anybody who is a bit concerned about matching points and making things really, really accurate, you're going to love this book. You are going to love it because let's have a flick through. It's got such cool contemporary designs, and I'm thinking this is going to be brilliant as well to real dive into your stash. Look at these colours. They're beautiful. I love the tally one. As I say, we're going to be looking at some cushions, but some great quilts in here. This is what I love about books like this, is that if you've got a design that you really, really like, they're really versatile. You can make it into smaller projects, you can make them into bigger projects, you can make them into... So it says it starts with basically this whole part of the book, before you get into any of the designs, this is all the sort of techniques. So it tells you at the start about how to use this book. How to also, the lack of cutting list. Don't worry, don't put off by the vague requirements and techniques of quilt projects. It's saying, honestly, you will love this book. It's fantastic. We are going to have a real good look at it with Sarah in a moment. So, £23.99. If you've seen it in the past, it's back in stock. Make the most of it before it sells out because loads of people are already checking out on that one. It was going before we even came to air this morning. A lot of eagle eyes spotted it on the website. and saw this book, so we'll go through it with Sarah. It's £23.99. Now, we've done it separate to the bundles. As I say, I know this book is really popular. Lots of you might already have it. If you do want some fabric to go with. Now, Sarah's been sort of mixing and matching a bit as well with her solid fabrics with it. So we've put together, let's go with this one first, a bundle with 2 panels, 2 of our exclusive printed panels, which are gorgeous, and also your solid fabric. So you have, it's all right, a metre of fabric, a metre of your cream, it looks like, and then you also have 2 of your panels. So this one's your stripes, and then the other one's your squares. So, I mean, they're massive panels, look. Even if you buy a jelly roll or a design roll, oh, waft! Get there in the end, sorry. I'm not very good at this, can you tell? I'm not very good at making my own bed. What I love about these is that, you know, normally when you see design rolls or jelly rolls, they're normally, well, the quilter's width is 112 wide, whereas these are really wide. I think they're about 140. Yeah, 140. They're 140 wide. It's amazing. And they're all complementing each other. They've got beautiful colours, the blues, the yellows, or the creams. We love them. So you're getting the stripes. You're also then getting the squares, which are, I'm not going to open them all out, but just so you can see, you've got all of your squares as well. So like your charm pack, basically, all coordinating squares. I think there's 40 different coordinating squares on there. £39.96. And your metre of cream. Okay, now I think with these panels and these projects, we're going to be having a look at the cushion, which I will show you in a second, but you're going to be able to sort of mix and match and play around with loads of the different ones in the book. Joe, I think you've put the heating on in here. I feel like it's blowing hot heat, isn't it, Sarah? Sarah's like, yes, it is. It's hot. I said it was a bit cooler earlier on. So and I swear it's getting hot. I'm like, this is really weird. I know I said I like it like quite warm, but it's boiling. £34.96 this time. Sarah's never going to want to work with me again. It's the first time that we've had a show together. She's already like, I'm melting. Me. Being diva, it's too warm, too cold. So you've got, thank you. You've got your stripe. This is like your linear effect stripe, your rainbow panels. You've then got also your rainbow squares and a metre of ivory. £34.96. 2 panels and also your fabric. And then the purple, what did you do to it? Your plum. You've got a metre of school grey. You've then also got, that's fine, you've then also got your stripes and your squares, exactly the same as the other one, the one that I did open out, so you can see they're massive. They are massive. You get so much for your money. Bearing in mind, can I just say, you can pay £39 just for a design roll. We know that. You can pay that just for your design roll. You're also getting, essentially here, like a charm pack, your 5-inch squares, and a metre of fabric. Value for money is amazing. There is so much that you're going to be able to make with this book. Really excited. They're agreeing in my ear. £39.96. Right, should we get Sarah on? Because Sarah's mixed and matched, by the way. So whilst you're watching the demo, if you go onto the website and type in 100% cotton, then you'll be able to see all of the different fabrics that we've got by the half metre, and you'll be able to see, in a moment, how Sarah has mixed and matched them and chosen different fabrics as well. So this is how you buy. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. I'm really excited to finally meet you. It's really strange. It's I know that when we were in lockdown, you did a lot of videos from home.
Yes, you did some introductions for me, didn't you?
Yes, I feel like I know you.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here. Yeah.
How did you get on with the book?
Oh, well, the book.
I
love the book. Yeah. It's just. I think it's perfect for anybody who's new to quilting.
Right.
Because say the rules are there are no rules, which is really liberating. Because if you spend all your time sort of concentrating on your accuracy and things, I find anyway, it's really nice just to sew for pleasure and not know what you're going to end up with. Get a surprise at the end.
So I know it's a bit of if I know the book and I know how great the book is, but for anyone who's sitting at home saying, hang on, so there's no rules, what's the point in using the book? It still gives you a guide of what to do, doesn't it?
I mean, it's a technique based book. So there's about 6 different techniques in. We're going to cover 3 off today.
Okay.
So the idea is that the techniques will give you some guidance, but then literally it's down to your own creativity. And there's projects in the book, so they'll tell you roughly what the fabric cutting quantities are, but don't expect to see like an accurate list of cut this, cut that, and this is what the step's going to look like, this is what it'll end up like, because everybody will end up with a different, if we all had the same piece of fabric, we would all end up with a different, that's the magic of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I liken it to, like if you're cooking and you follow a recipe, so normally when we're quilting, that would be the recipe, wouldn't it? So you'd have like a list of ingredients, you'd have your cutting list, you'd know your steps and this is what it's going to look like at the end. With improv, I think it's like saying to somebody, there's the cupboard, go inside and make something for tea. So some people would find that great, others may find it a little scary, but go with it.
But you're still saying for people who are brand new that you wouldn't shy away from it.
No, definitely.
If you're creative, I think you're going to love that.
Yeah. And people that are, because I know maybe some people who are like traditional may think, oh, it's not proper quilting this. But it absolutely is, because it just gives you that ability to use your skills in a different way.
Brilliant. So you say that we're going to cover 3 of the techniques from the book. Right, we better get going then. So we've got the panels, which are great because you've got all of these coordinating colours and fabrics already there for you.
These are fab because I know when you first start off, you may find the thought of hacking into your fabric a bit scary. And I say hacking because that's the word that he uses. And also tends to sort of favour scissors rather than rotary cutters as well. So it really is sort of friendly for all different levels. But you may look at your Moda or your Liberty and think, oh, I can't do this. So these are great because you get loads of fabric for your money and you can just play to your heart's content. But I guarantee by doing a couple of these, you will then be hooked.
Fantastic. So what is it that we're doing today then?
So today we're going to do 3 techniques. So the first one is called stacks, which is what this cushion was made of, the principle of.
Lovely.
And I've got here some sort of examples. And basically, as the name suggests, we are going to be just cutting up squares or rectangles of fabric. Doesn't even have to be the exact size. That's how great it is. And I'll show you literally. Because normally I've done loads of prep, but I've just got bags of cut up bits and pieces. So we're just going to go with it live. So if we...
Love it, love it, love it.
And again, I've bought these before and I've spent ages with my rotary cutter being really precise, but you don't need to be.
Get your scissors out.
In fact, on some of them, I even sort of deliberately went that side of the white so that you could get the white into the fabric. So. So we're going to cut in. So you can have any amount of layers of fabric. We're going to do 4 because that's what they recommend in the book. But literally, you can do whatever you like. So just roughly cut them up. So again, no precision. And
I must say, because that's one thing when I first started patchwork, it's supposed to be fun, isn't it? And it's like you say, sometimes Yeah, there's a time and a place where you really want to get your mind going and you think, right, actually I've got to think about this with the measurements and angles. And sometimes you just want to sew.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this would be a great book to pick up and go, right, I'm just going to use
like
my stash.
Mindless sewing, I call it, because sometimes if you've been doing dressmaking or you followed a pattern, you may have enjoyed that process, but you just want to sort of chill and relax. In fact, in the book, he talks about doing like a 15-minute freestyle just to limber up. Because some people will find it quite like weird sewing like this. So it talks about just getting your scrap bag and sewing together, chain piecing pieces of fabric and making. I suppose it's a bit like crazy patch in a way as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's our 4 layers of fabric. And we're just going to cut. Now, see, I'm not even being precise there.
Have you done anything like this before, Sarah?
Well, a couple of times because I'd already got the book. But yeah, I just find it's great. And then we're going to deliberately go on a wonk. You don't have to. You could go straight. You could go over there. It doesn't matter at all. So we'll make a cut. And then we're going to... Didn't quite cut that one, did I? Scissors, there we go. But it doesn't matter. We can just cut that little bit off. And then we're going to take the top one, put that underneath. So it'll just change up the order a little bit of the fabric. And right sides together, we're going to sew. And 1/4 inch foot is on because, you know, that's fine. But again, the quilting police aren't going to come and check your edges or anything. So,
gosh, this is good, isn't it?
And away we go. And obviously it's good to chain piece as well. So we'll take the next one. And if you can, resist the temptation to look at it and think, oh, I don't know if that goes with that. Because, again, Nick refers to it as pulling the fabric. So literally, just see what you end up with. So yeah, it is maybe a little scary to start off with because you sort of want to be in control, don't you? Thinking, oh, that doesn't match with that. But trust me, because it's all going to get cut up again. And
no pinning.
No pinning.
I can't see a pin in sight.
Honestly, it is a revolution. So you can see why as a newbie sewer, it's good.
Yeah, a bit of rebellious sewing, isn't it?
It's more about the creativity than the process, as it were. So
they're still learning these techniques, like you say, chain piecing and
I mean,
getting your iron with your 1/4 inch.
You don't even have to iron. In fact, I probably won't. I'm just going to finger press this. So what I do like about these panels as well is the texture of the fabric. It really lends itself to being worked with like this. It's nice and
yes, it seems to hold its shape, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has like a structure. So we'll just finger press this to start off with, and we'll line them up. And then we're going to go in and make another cut. And again on this, you can go as many times as you like. I tend to just go twice. So that's where we did it initially. We'll just turn it that way. And again, on the wonk. That's my favourite terminology. And this time we're going to take 2. And we'll just reorder them like that. So you see. Felt the aircon kicking there.
Oh, good. I'm ever so sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Well, it is August after all. It's just that the weather, you'd never think, would you?
I know. Have you had storms up in Leeds?
Well, the rain yesterday was just horrendous, but I think we've probably not done so bad with the actual storms. I've seen pictures on social media. You've definitely had it worse down here.
Yeah.
But, it did rain yesterday.
It's still sticky though, isn't it? It's still hot and sticky.
It is. You see, it comes together really nicely. And then what we're going to do is, in the book, just to shake things up a little bit, you can add like little corners of colour. Now I've actually got bright colours anyway on this one, haven't I? But what I've done on, I think it was on that one.
Yeah.
I've put like little triangles in the corner just to add a little bit of extra interest. So you can see, so we will press now. Let's get the board out.
I think this is perfect actually for this, this weather at the moment. Daylight, when it's raining outside and you're thinking, my plans are now cancelled, I'm going to stay in and do some sewing, but I haven't got myself all prepped because normally I like to do all my cutting the day before and get myself all prepped with a quilting project. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. It doesn't seem, probably just because there's no
Does it seem hot? It might be the other iron that is plugged in, or is that all right?
Yeah,
There's a
no,
little
we'll
mini
go
iron.
with it. We'll go with it anyway. Yeah, just doesn't seem very warm at all, but it's on max. Anyway, right. So it's fine. So again, don't worry, because we're not going to square up as such, which I know is another thing that people might think, what? All we'll do is, if you want to sew these lines together,
Right.
these pieces together, we'll just straighten the edges. So again, there's no complicated measuring, and
Brilliant.
you just keep building as you go along. And if you don't like something, doesn't matter. If you could hack back into it. I mean, I use the word hack because
It's the only time you can in the world
I
in the
love
term quilted.
and I quite like actually how you've got the white on there as well. But again, you can introduce some piecing to break up the colour if you want. I mean, this is very very busy.
Yeah.
Some of the patterns give a more muted colour to it. But then what we could do is, I'm just going to use the edge of one of these, and we'll just make a little triangle to go on. So we'll just fold a square like so, and pop it. We'll go in this corner here. Okay, there's my iron, and we'll just sew it along where I folded. Again, doesn't have to be precise, but literally you'll just have so much fun with this book.
Oh, it's brilliant. And like you say, the great thing is about using these panels is you're not hacking into your Moda and your Liberty.
No.
But you could use just elements of those little bits of scraps that you're thinking, oh, I don't want to throw that away. I don't know what to use it for though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, for scraps.
So there, probably not very effective on the white, but you can see we've just added an alternative colour, which looks quite nice then, particularly when you're doing the patterns and things like that. And then if you want to sew those together, literally, this is how technical it would be. We will just, as I say, we're not squaring up. You're not sort of thinking, oh, you know, this block doesn't match this block. All you're going to do is give yourself a straight line to sew against. And then at the end, obviously, if you're making a cushion or something, you will then trim to the size you wanted it to.
Yeah. Like you say, it is like scrap crazy or crazy
Yeah.
patchwork, isn't it?
In fact, there's a Creative Grids ruler that's got a similar effect to this.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, you know, fine if you want that more precise and accurate sort of effect. But you can see, and you imagine, then I could sew that to that. And
Yeah.
suddenly, you've just got.
And I really like random. I know a lot of people, and especially the quilting world, aren't very good at doing random. But because you've got the coordinating colours in these panels, they all work together, don't they?
Yeah, that's why I ended up sort of mix and matching a little bit. And it's nice just to throw in some solids or stuff from your stash and things like that. But it comes together really quickly. So the next technique, so this is called stack. So the next technique that we did for the log cabin effect, which is the cushion, shall I get it now?
So the log cabin, a log cabin, we know a log cabin that's one of the most sort of traditional quilting blocks, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So people.
So how can you go rogue on that one?
I know. Oh, trust me, I can go rogue. But yeah, I mean, so there's different techniques. So you could start off with doing like your stacks in the middle, like smaller, and then we'll add these little, what they're called slabs to the side. So again, it's all very technical terms, isn't it? Stacks and slabs, and build. And in the book, he makes reference to just pulling the fabric literally out of a bag,
right?
It's just so you get that randomness. But on some of these, I did try to stick traditional, and I went light and dark a little bit. But you can do whatever you like. And I again kept with the tradition, and I put my centre little block on just to add that pop of colour, because traditionally it's sort of like red, isn't it, in a log cabin. So we'll just show you quickly how we make some of those. And this is the sort of thing that you will just do from all your, I'm making a right mess here, aren't I? That we'll use,
That's a great
some
thing,
different fabric. But you can just go in, so you might think, oh, this is scrap, but actually it isn't.
So did you mix and match between bundles?
Yeah, because I started off trying to be But once you get into it, literally, I was like pulling stuff from all over and thinking, oh, that'd look nice. And that's all part of the joy of improv, I think. And another thing that I remember reading about in the book is he talks about, because you may end up getting a bit random and having loads of things like this, he talks about using a design wall, which I know there's like the cave one and things like that. But you can also use, which I hadn't realised, is just a piece of batting, he said, or, like the polyester wadding, and just put that on a board or something, and your fabric sticks really well to that. So you can step back and look at it, and because sometimes you might think, or, you come back later and you'll see something different.
Yeah, if you are thinking, do you know what, this is maybe a bit too random for me, you can still have some order to it.
Yeah.
Step back and check that you're happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So literally, I mean, people are probably thinking, gosh, she's cutting into the selvage and all sorts, but you'll be amazed at literally, so it's just sewing bits together, or strips, slabs, and then after this one we'll cut it the other way and sew it back on. But obviously this is a very sort of scrappy effect how I'm pulling them, but you could, if you imagine, like you could use all one colour palette maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of the fabrics, they do the really nice bundles, don't they, of like the blues.
Oh, yeah, your ombre.
Yeah, so you could get that, and you could forget all the crazy colours, but just do a mixture of different blues or greens or whatever, and just get that effect. So again, cut it, and there we go. We'll go, let's introduce some more. We'll go this way. There. It is just such good fun. But then you can see how you can just, and then you would go round if you were doing like your log cabin effect and just keep lining it up. I mean, you're not even, I won't use the word squaring up because nothing's going to be square. But that's the joy of improv.
Like you say, for anybody who is new to patchwork and quilting and you just want to get a bit of a, you just want to get going with the sewing, I think sometimes when I first started, it did really daunt me, the whole precision. The amount of times we will use the word precision, accuracy, pressing it to make sure that everything is really nice and square and accurate. It's quite daunting for new books, so this is a great book to...
Yeah, and like you're constantly sometimes checking back to the instructions and you'll read something, or, I mean, on the next project that I've got, it's a lovely quilt, but the amount of times I had to make sure that the placement was going in the right way and things. And there's a time and place for that sort of quilting, but sometimes you just want to have fun with the scraps and get really nice results.
Yeah.
So that's literally all you would do with the slabs. So now we're going to do the curves, if that's okay. So that's the cushion here.
Now, this looks like free motion.
Yes, yeah. And if we get some time, we'll do a little bit of free motion as well. If that's okay there. So with this one, so this is where we really have some fun. So we're tending to use the strips of fabric. So in the bundles, you've got the squares that are like charm packs. Yeah. But then the strips, we would cut up. And again, you can see, not precise at all. And we're going to make a curvy line and sew some curves. So
you're going to be able to do a lot with this bundle, actually, aren't you?
Oh, yeah,
Get
definitely.
2 panels and a metre of your solid.
So again, we don't have to be precise. So I'll do, are we okay for time?
Absolutely fine, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, what I did on this as well is I tended to go into use the white, waste not, want not.
Still got about half an hour.
Oh, right, okay. So that's 2. And let's mix and match again. We'll go with blue one over here.
The blue and yellow is the most popular colour bundle, actually.
But yeah, once you get going, see, I'm making a right mess. Right, I shall press these a little bit because we're going to be cutting a curve. We want to try and make sure that the fabric doesn't move.
Right.
We need to be a bit careful with our rotary
Could
cutter.
I use best press?
Yes.
Is that iron working now?
No.
Is
Did
it?
you
Is
say?
the light on? Is it plugged in right?
It's plugged in. Oh, it wasn't pushed down. Oh, well done, Bex. I can see you've done this before. Now I'm having a bit of a... Oh, it'll soon... I did bring a little bit because I know it sells out quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Oh, now we're having a full steam.
Go for it. At least it's not mucky brown water. Oh. Right. Yes, it just wasn't. It looked like it was plugged in, but it wasn't. Okay. Oh, we can use wet fabric.
Sorry, Sarah.
No, I was like, great, it's not working. Actually, let's cut another piece. Why not? We've got time, haven't we?
Yeah, it's time.
Okay.
And these rainbow ones are gorgeous as well.
And like you said, the linear effect on it, I think it just gives it that nice little bit of texture. But it's really nice. I found fabric to work with. Sort of like holds its structure quite well. Right. So I'm going to cut a curve now. So let's get them roughly the same length. Okay. So what you do is you'll have both fabrics face up, and then we'll put one on top of the other with about an inch overlap, but it doesn't matter. You just need to bear in mind that if we're going to do the curve, we want it to catch both of the fabrics. And also I recommend making sure you've got a new blade. Right. So I put one in yesterday. And also putting one hand behind your back, because we're going freehand, so health and safety. So let's just move that out of the way. So
I thought this was going to be a challenge or something. Right, now also blindfold.
I'm blindfolded.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
funny.
are you sure we should be doing this? Do you find sometimes as well using a smaller rotary cutter helps with curves?
Yeah, probably, yes, I think so.
If you've got a smaller one. If you've got a 28mm one, I find that helps with curves.
Yeah,
But we're
I
going
think
for a
you're right.
45.
45. I mean, I did actually have a play with scissors because I thought some people will be a bit scared about going free motion with the rotary cutter, but it didn't quite give the curve. So
Okay.
we're going to go in. Right, so we'll start and we'll try and just do it in a continuous, but if you need to stop, because,
Right.
you know, this is improv, there are no rules. And don't go too crazy with your curve. You can, experiment, but the gentler the curve, might be the easier to sew to start off with. This is waist, although obviously nothing's waist, is it? But and then underneath, we don't need that piece. So they're coming together like that.
Oh, brilliant. I've not seen this technique before.
So then we'll flip this over. And the tip here that Nicola suggests is don't start at the top like that, which you might want to do. Just sort of move it up a little bit so that you're more going with the curve. I mean, at the end of the day, if it doesn't match at the bottom, it doesn't matter because it's improv. We'll just level the ends up anyway, won't we? So put it on the machine.
So you're sewing the curvy side?
Yeah, so we've got, so no pins, no glue.
No.
It's scary, isn't it? So we've got a piece on the bottom, if you can see that on the machine, which if you're right-handed, hold that with your right hand and try and keep that sort of straight if you can. And then your left hand is going to be moving the top piece of fabric around the curve.
Right.
So here goes. And again, if you can stop, it doesn't matter, but we're aiming for, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but literally trying to go as free flow as we can. Now, if you get some puckering, that's fine, because in improv, puckering is called texture.
Love that.
I know, I love it.
Love it. This is my kind of
So literally, there we go, to the end. Now, when it comes off here, you're going to look at it and think, what? It doesn't look particularly impressive at this stage, but wait till the magic happens. So we'll pop it onto the board. It's a huge board. And we're going to press, that'll be okay, onto that. Put the tip of the iron into the curve, if you can, and we're going to run the iron, that look okay on camera?
Yeah.
All the way along that sewing curve. Okay, so we think we've gone all the way along like that, and then we're just going to press it into submission that way. And again, if you want to, you can best press or a shot of steam, but you See how it comes together? Yeah. And you look and you think, wow, it actually looks quite neat on the back, and no pins, no glue. So you can see that's sort of where the freedom comes to think, oh, what else can I do?
Then to connect the next piece to it, would you do it lots in pairs?
You can do. On this one, and I think on here, I tended to just, so long as I'd got enough width here, I tended to just go on top then. And I probably went about that. That's as wide as I went. Right. But then you could then sew them together in blocks and things. So it just depends how much, because you'll lose. So if I cut another one on top of there, I may end up then with just a tiny slither of the yellow, but that's fine.
That looks nice as well, yeah.
So shall I do another quick one? So hand behind the back. And there you go. So that's the waist. Chucking it on the floor.
Now you are just going fully rogue.
Just like part of the family now. And then, so we take it to the machine. So remember that we said we'd just sort of, just move it up to the top a little bit like that. And literally, I mean, the first time I did this, I thought, oh, this is never going to work out. Because normally, I mean, I am a pinner. Yeah. So I'll pin everything within an inch of its life. But no, literally, you follow the instructions and just hold this one firm at the bottom. And then with your left hand, manipulate this one round.
Oh, I love the fact there's no points to match.
Yeah. I mean, if you go I've gone fairly gentle with the curves, so that helps, obviously. If you start going woo, woo, yeah, round, it is going to be quite harder. It's a bit harder, but
woo, 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 if you're starting to curves like this.
But again, at that stage, you're going to think, oh no, that's never going to work. But literally, the key is getting the iron under that sew line. Pushing it under. And then away you go. As I say, if you do get a bit of a pucker or a tuck, doesn't matter.
Really effective.
And you just keep going. And that's how I made the cushion then. So obviously you can have, I mean, if you're starting off, this is quite a good length to practice with. I wouldn't recommend doing width of fabric, it's a little ambitious. But, you know, just because you can actually then sew them, there's nothing stopping you sewing them together to make, if you're happier working with, you know, that size pieces of fabric, then just sew your pieces together. But this, I was playing a little bit yesterday, and in the book, there's this lovely fish
I saw
quilt.
This.
And all this is, literally, is this technique. So if you can imagine, I've cut the curve, but rather than go like quite wobbly like I've done on these, I've just cut a nice sort of curve like that. And then I did the same on the other side with another piece of fabric. And then the tail is just a triangle, which is another technique, which is in the book.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So it's good fun. So, shall I show you how I did the quilting on the cushion?
Oh yes, please. Okay. Because the free motion you didn't do with a free motion foot, did you?
No.
I've not seen this way of doing it before then.
I mean, when I made this one, I used my walking foot at home, which obviously it helps when you're going through layers. But today here, I just had a little quick go, and it worked fine. But what I will do is I'll just take the 1/4 inch off, and I'll pop on.
Yeah, I suppose, because that will just drag on your fabric a bit.
Just pop on the A foot, and I'll lengthen the stitch length a little.
This is where you could get real creative with your threads as well. You could do some beautiful variegated threads.
Yeah.
Or, I wonder whether you could use this for, this is like a metallic-y thread. Is this going to be too heavy?
You can do. I think the say with that is don't use it in the bobbin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you went steady, you'd probably be better actually using that than going free motion, because you're going to go really fast, aren't you, with like proper free motion. But with this, because it is literally just sewing on a, sewing straight, well, it's not straight because it's wonky. Yeah. But with the foot, I think you probably would be okay with that.
Nice, that's today's early bird, the metallic threads, they're lovely.
Oh, very nice. So literally, we've just made a sandwich like we normally do. So this is just a small version of what I've done with the cushion. So I've just put some wadding in between and a bit of backing on. And then take it to the machine.
So you don't need to drop your feed, dogs.
No, because we're not free motioning as in it's going to sew, but
you
we
get
are.
that effect.
Yeah. Now, what I did when I made this one is I actually put my quilting gloves on at home.
Right.
Because I just found, even though it's only a small piece of fabric, it just gives you that extra bit of grip. So if you've got them, by all means use them.
Brilliant, yeah. Some on the website if you haven't got any.
Yeah, I think they're so easy ones. But literally then, is my kind of sewing.
So you're literally just wiggling it around under the needle. That's so good.
But if you want to keep consistent, so that the closer you go, you'll get a more textured look with the pattern. Or if you go wider, it'll just give you a slightly different effect.
Oh, then I love it when you wash them. When you wash your cushion, it goes all. I don't know how to describe it. It goes all puffy. It's really lovely.
Yeah, it does.
All
And I know some people like to use a double thickness, don't they, of the wadding?
Yeah.
John was saying one of his ladies always, I think she does a double layer.
Oh, nice.
Because then you get even more puff then.
Oh, nice.
So we'll just keep going through. I think
Then do you go through all your lines as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put a different colour on, but I just think it adds to the look of the effect that we're trying to create on here. So by doing it in the grey.
Now to do this, would you need your you need to do it with a quilt sandwich, really, or not necessarily?
Yeah, you don't have to do a quilt sandwich. I mean, when I'm doing cushions, I tend to always quilt the front and then the back, because we've just done an envelope back. Show you one here. Then I've just kept that as a single layer. But obviously you could quilt the back as well, and then you could have a zip or any fastening. But I do quite like the envelope because it's easy. And sometimes when you're having a cushion, you don't necessarily want buttons. I mean, in the past I've put the prim snaps. I've put those on there, which look pretty, but they can be quite lumpy then, can't they? If you're sort of getting in the way.
You're lying on it and you get prints on your face, a button.
Yeah, it's
the
not a good
quilting
look.
gloves, by the way, Joe found actually. So if you do want quilting gloves, they are really handy to just be able
I've
to.
got mine here actually that I did bring. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant!
With
They're the same ones.
Yeah, they're so easy.
So easy.
Yeah, I looked on the website. I know you'd got them on. But yeah, I think they do help. I mean, if nothing else, it helps you get in the mode, doesn't it? You put them on and you feel like, right, this is it now, I'm quilting. But yeah, when I first tried a pair, I thought, I don't think I need these. But certainly if you want to look at quilting something bigger, you do need it just to give you the grip and things.
Fantastic, just £3.99.
And then literally to finish off the cushion backs, I mean, obviously once you've had a play and you've quilted it, you can do it however you like. But say I do quite like the envelope back. So it's literally creating two halves at the back of the cushion. So you work out how big your cushion is and then divide it by 2 on the back. And then add 3 inches, I tend to, so that you can fold it in and stitch along.
Do they give you instructions of how to sort of make them into cushions, or are these techniques that you then use in any project you want?
Yeah, they're just the techniques in the book. But I mean, we'll all have books and things that tell you how to do.
Because I suppose you can use this on a front of a bag. You could use this on all sorts, couldn't you?
It'd look nice as a makeup pouch or a tote or anything really.
So then this is this is how you like to do your envelope bag.
Just to finish it off. But I don't know if we've got time.
We've still got loads of time. Yeah.
Okay. So literally, so you have your 2 sides then. Let's turn them that way, and we'll press in just half an inch down the side there. So we'll do that.
I've decided we've got loads of time. How long have we got, Joe? Sorry. Oh, you can have 10 minutes if you want.
Oh, right, great. Okay, so just press in there. And then we'll fold it over again. I'm on a bit of a wobble, but you can't tell, can you? So just to neaten it off, really. And then, so I'm sure everyone's got different techniques, and I know some people like to measure the fabric to the exact width of the cushion cover, because then you get a really snug fit. I've actually added half an inch on here because they're quite puffy cushions, but you can have a play. And
I do like a nice plump cushion. I always tend to go for a larger inner.
Yes, and then sometimes like on this one I would like really struggle to get it in, but you know the effect is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice.
So then literally you're just neatening this off. So we'll go back down here. And again, you can do it in a nice contrasting thread, or maybe a zigzag stitch or something if you want to keep in spirit with the improv.
And in the bundles you get plenty of fabric, don't you, as well, to be able to do the full cushion back?
Yeah, I mean I played, so I think you could easily make, it depends how big your cushions are, but definitely 2.
Yeah.
And if you were making smaller ones, you'd definitely get more out of that as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
So then, so if you imagine that's the finished cushion, in fact I could just do with squaring it up. Have we got a bigger ruler?
Have we got a ruler?
Tell you what, I will use scissors. It's fine. You don't mind me just cutting the edges off.
Thanks, Jo.
Oh, thank you. Lovely. Oh.
A really big ruler.
I must admit, no, I'm not going to say anything now, otherwise I'll be giggling.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. So we'll just square off the cushion when you've finished doing obviously all your quilting. In fact, looking at this, it isn't central, but it doesn't matter because it all adds to the improv, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, I love that. And like you said right at the start, I love the fact that everybody's going to have, you know, the same fabrics, bundles come into them. Every single person will make something different.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you could add ribbons into them, or
Buttons, yeah.
buttons, beads, anything just to sort of make it your own. But the book, honestly, it's when you read about how he came up with the technique, and because he was inspired initially by a leek tart that he'd seen a picture of in a magazine, and you know, the rings around the leeks made him think, oh, I'd love to be able to create something like that from a quilting point of view, but realised that there wasn't really any of the traditional quilting techniques that covered that off, so came up with his own. So literally,
I love that. Inspired about over a food, a leek tart.
And I think this on the cover as well, that's the rings of a tree trunk. So there's a lot of nature involved, and so I like that.
A lot of people, we sort of always, now anybody who is a quilter or even just creative, you look round and I always see quilt blocks and quilt patterns and different things in just everyday things that you see, like billboards and street pavings or tiles or things. You always see it, don't you?
Yeah, and you do on the fans page actually, don't you?
Yeah.
I notice people will be on holiday and they'll post a picture of some floor tile and they'll say, oh, I've seen this and thought of a quilt.
Yeah.
And so it's lovely. So literally then we've got an overlap on them, we've put them on right sides together. I'll just cut off the edge here, and then we're just going to run round, and it's as easy as that. Oops. Bottom.
See, with these techniques, you're going to be able to do projects really quickly as well. So if you are after a gift for somebody really quickly, or, you know, you just, like you say, want to just do a bit of sewing that's going to take you the afternoon and it's completed and done.
I'm not even pinning, which could be a mistake. We'll just roll with it.
Yeah, because this isn't his technique. This is now you just still being rebellious.
Yeah, this is Sarah Bolam improv, which is anything could happen. But literally, we're just going all the way around, because like normally you'd have to leave a turning gap and things like that, wouldn't you? But because it's an envelope,
turn it through the envelope.
That's right.
Now, I would have thought that you'd need your walking foot for all these layers, but
Yeah.
it seems to be handling very well our 562,
It
doesn't
is,
it?
even though it's the junior, isn't it, of the machines. But yeah, it's going through. In fact, I've still got my longer stitch length on, so I'll just make that a bit smaller. But yeah, it's handling it well.
Did you speak to Jane about getting the Elder 560 in the other day? I know we were all saying, oh, we've got to get her to get more in because there's none in stock anywhere.
Oh, do you know what I did the other day? I bought the embellisher.
Did you?
I can't wait for it to arrive, yeah.
Oh, I know that was really limited as well.
Yeah, well, I was cutting out fabric for the project, you know, like, because I always watch Sewing Street while I'm sewing. And I was like half watching, cutting, and I only seen like 5 minutes of the demo and I thought, I need this.
How excited.
So yeah, I'm really excited, yeah. So hopefully that'll come this week.
Oh, you'll have to come in and use it for some demos.
I know, because I thought, I'm not going to have time to do sort of like proper sewing because I'm going to be playing. But I mean, I love like all Darphine's felting and things.
Oh, yeah.
I think because my background is more paper crafting and like mixed media.
Right, okay.
So I like to
dabble a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. But we've had a good mix of shows on, haven't we? Because I must admit I did enjoy the dressmaking yesterday as well with Adele.
Yeah, it's been fab.
So then what we'd do is just cut your corners. In fact, I would go round and trim.
Would you trim around the whole
Yeah,
perimeter?
yeah, probably. Although you probably say we've got time, have we? I've just lost track
No,
of time
we're all
today.
good. We're fine. I think we've got a couple of minutes just so we'll
Right,
just
that's
imagine
fine.
you've gone all the way around.
Yeah.
I know I've lost track of time today.
Yeah. Sometimes your demos seem to go really quick, and then other times,
You
I
got
think
loads of
because
time?
literally it was because there was no prep, it was just cutting up and playing. You feel like you've been demoing for ages. And then you'd use your little pointy tool to point out your edges, wouldn't you, to get a nice finish. But literally, you have then a baby cushion to match the cushion that we've got.
There you go. I mean, you've just made that whole cushion more or less. I know
Yeah.
you did a bit of the...
Yeah, excuse the corners because they
Back
would.
at home.
I'd give them a good, you know, point out and just give it a little press on the back. But that's it, done.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's a nice project to do with children as well.
Yeah.
But actually, I could imagine that as a
I was thinking a tablet case or like a...
yeah.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking it's a nice little makeup bag, just
Yeah.
like or a purse or something. You know, if it was
Yeah.
sorry, camera, folded up or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Really versatile ideas of different ways you can use your kit and use the book. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much, Sarah.
Welcome.
We definitely need to get your embellisher on next time we're
Ooh,
here as
yeah.
well. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You're going to be back as well with some quilting. This is lovely. Look at the colours as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how this goes together because we were trying to work out earlier on where the block is. I think we've cracked it,
is
but
magic.
it's not what you think, isn't it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it isn't what you think at all. Because yeah, literally, yeah, you'll see. The trick is in the slicing and the cutting.
Oh, that's have a look. Thank you ever so much.
Thank
you.
you.
We'll see you in an hour. We're going to have a roundup and have another quick look at the book. So don't go anywhere. This is how you shop. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. Oh, I love this book so much. I know, as I say, last time that we had this in, this was really popular. I'm so pleased that Sarah loves it as much as me. It's just like a bit different, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, we've all got lots of great books that tell you very precise instructions, different things. But every now and then you just want to go rogue and do a bit of, just exciting sewing. This is something that you can pick up any of your scraps that you've got, any of those little bits of, even, dare I say, I know we were saying, look, I wouldn't want to just take a ½ metre piece of my favourite Liberty fabric and hack into it. But this is something that, yeah, you can still use some of the smaller pieces, and especially the bundles that we've got is perfect. But, so, the start of the book, as we say, talks about the different techniques. So we saw today 3. It goes through all of the different rules. I like that it gives you a bit of an insight into Nick's, you know, how he came up with the concept of the book and where his inspiration comes from. But then you've also got, as I say, all the techniques. Oh, look, there's a rings one as well. See, that would look amazing as like peacock feathers, wouldn't it? That would be really cool in like blues and purples and greens, like those sort of colours. Curves, there's the techniques that we were looking at today with Sarah. And then just ideas and how to use it in quilting, or how to use it with, you know, how to work them together with your design wall. Age of a tree, like you see, getting inspired. Brilliant. I mean, this isn't necessarily a quilting book. You don't need to necessarily use it for a big quilt. You could use it with bags. You could use it with cushions, with makeup bags, with toiletry cases or laptop covers. There's so many different ways that you're going to be able to use these techniques. But I love how contemporary they are. £23.99. So many people have checked out on it. We're really excited to see all of your makes as well on the fan page, because I think everybody's is going to be so different. That's your quilt book. Your quilt, your rules. Love it. You've also got 3 different options on colourway bundles. Now, what I love about this is the value for money, because if we are going a bit rogue and playing around, you might think, oh, I just want to have a couple of goes at this and see which ones. They're always going to work together with these bundles because the coordinating colours. So you've got your 2.5-inch strips on the one panel, which is a big panel, by the way. You get all of this fabric. I'm not going to open them all out because it takes a long time, but you can see this is the one that Kat's just refolded. And I've chosen to quickly open it. That's 140 wide. It's brilliant. So you also have not only the strips, you have the square charm pack, and you also have your 1 metre of cream. So, bearing in mind, you're looking normally, what, £15 for a charm pack, £40 sometimes for some of the designer design rolls that we've had, and then you're also getting 1 metre of cream, so surely we should be looking over £50. Brilliant value for money, $39.96. And remember, you can watch back today's show and see Sarah's demonstration. If you've got the book, oh my word, go for it. Or if you've got other projects in mind, these are great bundles to have because your school grey looks lovely with the plum. £39.96. You get your charm squares, 5-inch squares, 2.5-inch strips, and your school grey 1 metre for £39.96. They're all beautiful panels. They're printed exclusively for us as well. And then the rainbow colourways. These have been obviously very, very popular all over the last few months. They're beautiful quality. The linear effect, as Sarah said, just adds lovely texture. You've then also got your charm squares, and you're getting 1 metre this time of cream. Metre cream. But don't forget to have a look on the web shop. If you type in 100% cotton, all of our fabrics like this, just solid plain fabrics by the ½ metre, they're beautiful quality Rose and Hubble fabrics. And these are going to be brilliant to mix in. So if you're thinking, right, I really want a purple or a pink to go with my rainbow bundle, you're still going to use your cream, aren't you, in your stash? So absolutely worth making the most of it. Right, so coming up in the next hour, I'm going to take these down and show you because I love these palazzo pants. These are great, aren't they? Brilliant for beginners, which, do you know what? I am going to say confidently, but when I first started sewing, trousers would be the one that would really scare me. It would really scare me. So I'm pleased that we've got a Gemma here to sort of demystify it all and go through it. We're going to be looking at how to do that lovely waistband. They're very flattering, aren't they? Now, also, I must say, these are already selling. The patterns are already selling, as well as, now I didn't know this, but apparently all the other patterns that we haven't even launched yet, the ones that we're going to be launching over the next coming weeks, apparently they're on the website as well. Definitely worth making the most of those. Just type in the word pattern preacher, the pattern preacher on the website, and you'll be able to see all the different patterns. But I love is it called palazzo pants? They're lovely with the, again, with the concealed zip at the back. They are really lovely and going to be very flattering indeed. I love them. So at the moment, I mean, there we go. You can have a little bit of a sneak peek, £15.99. We're going to get Gemma back on and we're going to have a good look again at another brand new pattern launching today in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
To see me back. My favourite piece of kit with the sewing is the seam ripper. Hello, I'm Janice from Birmingham. I specialise in dressmaking. I used to run a children's shop and I love making children's clothes. My mother encouraged me to sew from an early age. When we were young, we did dressmaking in school. My claim to fame was the sewing quarter. But I'm now making also jumpsuits for ladies and men of all shapes and sizes, and it seems to be going for the festivals around the country. See you on the show!
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got two Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All three of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those three and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
I want a pair of these. They are so nice, aren't they? Oh, losing my glossary. So these are the Sienna pants, which are brand new to us. They are amazing. From a brand new company we just launched today. If you missed the 8 o'clock hour, we were talking to Narinda, who is the founder of the Pattern Preacher, and we've got 6 of their dressmaking patterns which we're going to be launching over the coming weeks. The 2 that we're launching today, Narinda said, are the most popular. They are absolutely great. I suppose these are really good sort of wardrobe builders, aren't they? The tea dress that we had earlier on, gorgeous and going to be great in lots of different fabrics. These are going to be ideal, whether it be on your summer holidays or whether it be for workwear, whether it be, you know, for more smart or still quite comfortable. What I love about these is that they're sort of quite tight fit around the waist. They really sort of, we've all got a waist in there. It will really accentuate your waist. I'm really clinging on to mine there. And then just being lovely and floaty and very, very flattering indeed. They've got pockets, they've got a lovely waistband, they've got another concealed zip on the back. We're going to be going through the full construction and having a good look at any of the hints and tips with Gemma. But what I love about the patterns is that they're really sort of user-friendly. So it breaks down with a glossary and a booklet, which I know Gemma had a big part to play in constructing the booklet and instructions. So this is the perfect time to get in touch with us if you've got any questions. It also gives you a really good breakdown of what fabrics are going to be useful for this. So you can use it with a lightweight denim, you can use it with a chambray, a rayon, polycotton, viscose, medium weight cotton, satin. There's so many different ways that you can use it. Yeah, in a corduroy would look gorgeous. £15.99. And just to remember, the size variation is the second image on the website. It's in the description. We've got it here now so you can have a really good look at it if you do want to just see what sort of size you're falling into, as we've got all of the fabrics, I believe, by the ½ metre this hour. You've got up to, I think the largest size, 3 metres of fabric is the most amount of fabric that you're going to need for this project. It says, do you need extra help with this project? Not only will you have this show that you can watch the demonstration back on YouTube, there's also a QR reader at the back of the pattern, which you simply put your camera phone over the top of it. If you put your camera, turn your camera on and just hover it over this, then it will take you straight to the video demonstration, which is fantastic. They've got a brilliant website and social media presence as well. So any questions that you have, I know that Narinda was saying, absolutely get in touch with them on social media. I just love the whole ethos of the company, you know, the sustainability and using the eco-friendly, you know, pattern paper, even down to that part of it as well. It's brilliant. Not only thinking of new and contemporary designs and trousers that we're all going to want to wear that are flattering for all sizes. I think it's brilliant that the concept behind the pattern company as well. So £15.99. There's loads in there though. Look at how nice and chunky that is. There's loads of information. All of your booklets, you can see, is broken down step-by-step instructions, which we will look, as I say, again through with Gemma. But if you've got any questions, get them in studio@sewingstreet.com. Now, the fabrics that we've got today to make the lovely pants, let's go for the navy. Now, this is a bundle. We've actually already bundled this. It's 3 meters of fabric. Oh, this is lovely. So it's going to be a different... What I find is really interesting, that you can use different fabrics and you'll get completely different looks. This is going to be lovely for the, you know, the hot weather that we're in at the moment. It's given a beautiful, beautiful drape to it. So it is a lighter weight fabric than the one that I was holding with the trousers made up of, but it's again going to be great. This is your navy viscose, just the fabric, £47.49. 3 meters is enough to do the largest size. Now, if you do want to make a smaller size, we can also offer it by the ½ meter, so it will be cut off the bolt, especially for you. What's the width of this one, Kat? £7.99. It is your viscose. 140 wide. £7.99 a ½ meter. We've also got, thank you, pink. Oh, see, this is so pretty. Your blush pink viscose. Again, by the ½ meter, £7.99 a ½ meter. Remember, if you do want to make the largest size, you will need 3 meters, which is 6 units. Just £7.99. If you want us to, if you've got a size in mind and you want us to see how much fabric you're going to need, message in and we'll try and work out for you. We've also got the rope. These are going to be cool. Just a nice sort of shirt or something. It would look beautiful and smart, wouldn't it? £7.99. That again has got a really lovely drape, just £7.99. Don't forget our website has got lots of different fabrics. We'll talk to Gemma about different fabrics that you can use that are going to be suitable. So if you did want a heavier pair of trousers, like we say, some of the lightweight denims maybe that we've got on the website would be good for it as well. Have a good old raid of the stock and see we've got loads of different cotton viscose as well. Just £7.99 for the rope one. Right, so shall we get Gemma on? We're going to have a look at how you make these gorgeous trousers. This is a bit more about the Pattern Preacher. And these are a gorgeous pair of trousers. I think these are really flattering, actually.
They are. Obviously, you've got the flare to them. So like you said, it's really, really good for workwear or more casual wear.
Yeah. I think these are going to be really popular. £15.99. Now, for anybody who didn't see the first hour, can we go back to sort of the beginning with the Pattern Preacher? And you actually, so you joined the Pattern Preacher only the beginning of this year.
Quite recently, yeah. So obviously, like I said earlier on, my background is more in design. I've got experience of production and merchandising as well. And my involvement with Pattern Preacher is more about how you construct the garment. So that involves the content of the booklet. Right. It involves obviously video tutorials and demonstrating, and also kind of new developments really. So sort of the new styles that we're hoping to launch. Yeah,
and you're sort of doing the content of the booklet. I can imagine is a lot of sort of trial and error, and I know it makes sense, but then if you put it in front of the mass market, it's a different thing sometimes, isn't it? You need to go back and forth and see that it really makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we have various people that are involved in the booklet. So obviously, we've got someone from more pattern knowledge. We've also got someone from like a garment knowledge. But you're right, it's not until you start making it that you realise, okay, is this going to be clear enough for the customer? And it is a little bit of trial and error. And there are there's been 2 or 3 times where you have to go back through it. But we feel like hopefully now we're at the stage where it is consistent and it's easy for the customers to go through. So like you've highlighted, we've got the step-by-step instruction. We've got the lay plans where it clearly shows how we would advise you cut it.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is obviously really handy as well. And then we also recommend the fabrics and what you need as well.
I always found, I don't know why, trousers really daunting.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know. I've just always thought, oh, I don't know if I'll ever be able to make my own trousers. But you're saying this is a beginner's pattern as well.
It is a beginner's. Obviously, you've got the waistband, which we're going to be doing today, how to make the waistband. This one has also got a zip as well.
Is there an option without a zip then?
There isn't for this one,
Okay.
no. But I know what you mean with a trouser. I think it's to do with the crotch,
Yeah.
because obviously it's a diagonal seam. It seems a little bit like, oh, okay. But once you've got those two legs together, you can really see the garment coming together.
Brilliant. So we're going to start with the waistband.
We can start with the
It's up to you.
waistband. I was going to start with French seaming the
Yeah.
pocket first. So if I just going to get the
pockets, they're a big plus, aren't they? Having a
Yeah, so this
pocket.
one has a side pocket, which you can see just here, which is really, really handy. And we're going to French seam the pocket. So
You might need to flip, if you flip the board over, I think the other side's
This
the pushing
way?
side, yeah.
perfect. Okay, so on this particular fabric, it is quite hard to tell the wrong and the right sides. So I've just put a pin on the wrong side of the fabric, but you may want to just mark it with chalk, or the invisible pen doesn't show up on this one, but whatever you feel best. I'm just going to iron this open because it's a little bit creased.
Now this is a lighter weight fabric than the one that you've got already made up here. Is it still going to give you, I suppose it will just change the sort of finish effect of the trousers, but it will still
Yeah, so it's more
work.
of a looser wear. So I'd probably say this sort of fabric's quite good for the summer if you're wearing it as a more casual trouser.
Yeah.
Again, you've got a little bit more movement when you're working with the fabric, but if
Yeah.
you pin it into place and just be delicate with handling it, it should be
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so as earlier, with a French seam, you don't do the right sides together, you start off with the wrong sides together. So obviously I've put the pin here to indicate wrong side, and this is the wrong side. So we're going to do our first lock stitch line, which is basically going to be on this curved seam, on this curved edge here, basically.
What's the benefit of doing it as a French seam?
It just looks a lot more tidier and neater, and again it just makes it a little bit more challenging to make the garment. So if you don't feel comfortable doing a French seam, or you don't want to because there are various stages to it, you can do a basic lock stitch and overlock. That's your other option basically.
Okay.
Or you could do lock stitch and press the seams open.
Yeah.
It's entirely with whatever the customer feels more comfortable with,
Yeah.
but we've kind of offered those options just
Yeah.
to make it more fun,
And
really.
it's a good way of learning these different techniques, because quite often I've seen in I always thought it was quite fancy and couture to be able to see French seam finishing your seams. It's
Yeah.
a great way, it's a great technique to learn, isn't it? Because actually,
Yeah.
the way you've explained it the first time and now, it's not that difficult to do, is it? There's no intricate real sewing.
It's not massively difficult, it just means that you've obviously got a few more different steps that
stages.
you need to do to it. So once you've done the lock stitch, we're then going to, like we did earlier on, we're going to cut really close to the stitch line, just because when you turn it on the wrong side, you don't want to be able to see the seam trapped in, you don't want to see the fabric trapped between the seam.
So you're going as close as you can, but without...
Yeah, just be really careful you don't
many stitches.
accidentally like cut the stitch, because that can happen quite easily. So now it's going to look a little bit like this. And then what we're going to do is we're then going to turn it around.
Is this your inside of your pocket?
This is the inside of the pocket.
How fancy
yeah.
is that to have French seams inside your
Yeah,
pockets?
it does look very nice and fancy. So you're going to basically turn it around, so you've now got that stitch line is on the inside basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to press this nice and flat before we stitch, and it just makes it easier to stitch it down.
Do you make a lot of your own clothes, Gemma?
I don't actually. I always say to myself, oh, you know, I really want to wear more of my own clothing, and I actually don't do it. And it's something I keep saying to myself, I need to do. You're
not the only person that says that, you know. There's a lot of people that say, I just don't have time to make things.
I mean, I do find it quite hard to find garments or clothing that I quite like when I go shopping.
Yeah.
And I actually quite often don't really buy anything, or if I do sometimes amend it to make it more like unique and different. So you just roll it ever so slightly, roll it right to the edge and just press it down. It's all about, like, if you just roll it and roll it till you get right to the edge and then press it. Okay, so you can see now it's a lot more crisp and a lot more flatter, so it's easier to stitch. And then you're basically going to stitch around that same edge again. You're going to stitch all around here, but it just means that the French seam is going to be inside. Just always remember to back tack as well. That just makes sure that the stitching doesn't come undone.
So are you stitching this as close as you can to the edge?
So what I'm doing is I'm using, on the foot, there's a little line indicated. If you run that line along the edge of your foot, that gets you the 7mm finish. Or you could just do your centimetre, but I'm doing the 7mm because it just looks a little bit more cleaner. So this fabric is moving quite, because it's on a curve, it's moving a little bit. So I just do have to keep lifting my foot up and down just to make sure it doesn't get caught when I'm stitching.
Do you keep your needle down when you're lifting your foot?
You can do, yeah, it's probably best to do that actually.
I suppose it's just kind of doing that automatically for you, isn't it, with this machine?
On this one it is, yeah. You're going to see it's got a little bit caught just because of the movement.
Can you pin? Would that help at home if you've got
Yeah, it probably would help a little bit if you pinned it. Okay, so you can see ever so slightly it's got caught there, but hopefully if we press that flat, it should be okay.
If I was struggling with the lighter weight fabric, if you put it interfacing, would that give it a bit more
So the interfacing, we can move on to that now because we're going to do so it looks a little bit like this. So now if you turn...
But you wouldn't put interfacing
Probably
in
not
part?
for the pocket,
Okay.
no, but you're going to do it for the waistband. So now when you do that pocket bag, that French seam's going to be sitting inside so you can't see it, and then when you're just going to press it once more. So just going to press that flat, nice and crisp. Just roll it again.
Are you trying to get your seam to...
Yeah, so you want it to look really flat.
Okay.
Just keep rolling it.
Do you have a designated sewing space at home?
I do. I've got like a little spare room that I've kind of made it into my own. So I recently just got like a sewing desk that opens out, which is quite good, and then the machine sinks down. It's really, really handy. So basically, obviously now you can't see that French seam because it is inside the pocket bag. I can show you one that I'd done. So with the pocket bag, again, it sounds really complicated when you then say, okay, now you need to French seam the pocket bag into the side seam. It sounds quite confusing. And as long as you get your wrong on your right sides correct, that's fine. Let me just quickly iron this one and I can show you one I'd done earlier.
Just because you want it to look nice.
Yeah, just so it looks a bit better. Sorry, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But yeah, again, if you don't want to do French seam on the side seams, you can just stitch and lock stitch. So you can see, let me press that side seam in like that. So with the pocket, so this is the trouser leg basically, which you can see I've put together just one leg.
Oh yeah.
And this is the pocket, so which is exactly the same area as here. So if I lay it flat, and you can see inside, so this is the French seam that we've just done on that pocket. That's where you've stitched it. But then you can also French seam it into the side seams like this. So then all of this into this leg is a French seam.
Oh, lovely.
Basically. So it just makes it look really, really neat and tidy. But again, if you don't want to do that, you can just do lock stitch and overlock. Okay, so if we move on to the waistband and we can talk about the fusing. So you definitely would need to, well, it's fusing or interfacing, sorry. Some people know it is interfacing, but I just call it fusing. So it basically is applied to the garment to strengthen it. So with the waistband, obviously it needs to be quite heavy and thick, so it kind of takes the strength around your waist. So basically this is one that I've done earlier on. So this is basically the fabric fused, and then I've overlocked the side edges here. So what we're going to start with is we're going to stitch the panels together to make the waistband basically. So you're going to sew right sides together and you're going to do a 1 centimetre seam allowance on this part of the waistband to join it together.
So the waistband itself is in 2 parts.
Yeah, so you get the long bit, and this is the bit that will sit on the front, and then you get 2 of the smaller bits, which are the bits that go around the back.
Okay.
And then the zip would go in the centre back. So just always make sure, if you get a bit confused with the shape of the waistband, just make sure that when you lay it out like, so you can see the shape.
Yeah, you can see.
You can see it, and then all you literally do is you just flip that like that, because then when you've stitched it, it's going to open back out basically.
The pattern, very popular, by the way. It's just £15.99 for your Sienna. Sorry, could we just move the iron?
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
I'll put it back under there.
So 1 centimetre seam allowance again.
Yeah, so 1 centimetre seam allowance on this one. So I'm just using the edge of the foot to go along the edge of the overlock on the outer edge. So if I've done it right, open it up and you can see that it's curving around. You can sometimes accidentally do it so it flips and it's going that way, but it should go around like that. And then we're going to basically do the same on this side. So again, you can see that's curving around, so then you just flip it back and place them together like that. Again, like we said earlier, if you don't have an overlocker, you can just zigzag these edges, that's fine.
Does this fabric tend to fray a bit?
A little bit, yeah, it does fray a little bit. That's why it is handy to overlock and zigzag your edges. Thought it wasn't gonna play them. Okay, so you can see that it is curving around. Now what we need to do is we need to press these seams open flat like this.
Is that going to reduce the bulk, basically?
Yeah, and it just allows it to sit a bit more flat, because what we're going to do next is we're going to apply the 2 panels together, because the waistband is basically folded over. So you fold it over before you attach it. So it's basically going to be pressed open like this. And when you're stitching it, it just makes it sit a bit more flatter.
The interfacing, by the way, that we've got, just so you know, is white. That's absolutely fine though, isn't it?
You're not really going to see it. You can use white or black, but yeah. Because it's trapped inside the waistband, you don't see it. So next we're going to attach these 2 waistbands together. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay them on top of each other, right sides together again, make sure that they match here. Got any pins, sorry?
Is there any under the desk?
There's some here we can use. Oh, here you go. Here's my little magnet pin. So you don't have to pin it.
Are you pinning at the seams?
Yes, if you pin to make sure the seams match there on both of the panels. And we're basically going to stitch all around here, so then it opens up like this.
Right.
So I've done it at the seams. You might want to just do one in the middle as well. Make sure it's sitting flat.
Yeah, they will fit together, won't they?
Yeah. If the seams don't match 100%, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, it is. Everyone's going to look at it and say they didn't match.
They didn't match. Okay, so we're basically now going to stitch here 1 centimetre seam allowance to make sure that the panels join together. Ooh. Went a bit too far, went a bit too soon.
I'm running away with you. You're just stopping and readjusting.
Yeah, just make sure that it sits as flat as possible because you don't really want it to get caught.
I'm very excited to see what everybody's trousers look like in different fabrics. Have you got a favourite that you've seen on Instagram or that you've made up?
I think the linen's quite nice, to be honest with you, because it just
Yeah.
makes it nice for summer.
Oh, nice. Got some linen on the website as well. Got some lovely colours, in fact. Got a lovely purple, like a lilac.
Yeah, and I quite like the stripe as well. I'm a big fan of stripes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very flattering kind of fabric to use,
Yeah.
the design.
Is it again good that if you are working with slightly curve and you want to be able to stop and reposition just to slow down your speed?
Yeah. Always make sure you check, so you can see here that it is a centimetre that I'm doing. Just make sure that you try and get it as consistent.
Are you following a line on your machine or on your foot?
I'm just using the edge of the foot as a guide against the edge of the fabric, just to maintain it.
Anyone starting out, I suppose you could always draw it on, couldn't you? Or if you're really
Yeah.
worried about getting the seam allowance consistent.
Definitely, you could, yeah. And I think that each machine, I know it sounds silly, but obviously the main fit on any machine, it can be slightly different. So it's always good just to have a little practice on the machine before you actually do it, and make sure that you understand whereabouts you need to align the foot. In a minute, we're going to be doing a top stitch, and you have to kind of align a different part of the foot again to the edge of the fabric to get that small millimetre.
It's getting to know your feet, isn't it? And the markings on your feet.
Yeah, definitely. We're nearly there now. We're just getting to the last centre back panel. I'd probably say there's 3 parts to the garment I'd say are a little bit challenging, which would be the waistband, the pocket, inserting it, and then the hem turn as well. They're probably the 3 hardest bits, but it's surprising how fast the trouser comes together actually.
Oh, that's good.
Just got a bit stuck on that seam. Yeah, so if it gets stuck, just lift it up. It should be fine.
I think these would look lovely in like a lightweight denim as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say denim earlier on actually.
Flares are coming back in, I think, as well. Well, a palazzo pant never really went out of fashion, but I know, Kat, you were wearing a flare, weren't you, the other day? I think it used to always be skinny, 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 but actually, like, flares,
Yeah.
especially when they've got a nice waist to them, it was still...
It brings you in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've now attached the waistband together, so now we need to open it up. So the next step is to push the seam allowance. You're going to push it into your waistband basically. So you're going to push it, the raw edge here that isn't overlocked, that's the bit that's going to attach. So on your waistband here, can we see this? Inside there's a raw edge, and that is your raw edge, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And your overlock edge is the edge that you see. So you need to push your seam allowance into the raw edge, because that's going into the waistband, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you press that first.
Yeah, so if you press that into the waistband. It's good that we've got white thread because you can really see, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, the
All telly
contrast.
purposes.
Yeah.
At home, would you try and match what colour fabric you're using to your thread?
Yeah, definitely. I think unless you want to be really funky and do like a top stitch, contrast top stitch on the outside of the fabric, I'd always try and use a thread that matches the base colour of your fabric.
Yeah.
Just so like if the seam kind of does rip open, like here you can see the white, which you probably wouldn't want to see normally. Obviously today we're doing it to make it easier.
or with the top stitch, you know, if you're using like a denim or a blue, any of these blues, using one of those golden, you know, the classic.
That would look so
jean top
nice,
stitching.
around like the pocket, or you could even do it under the waistband. It'd look really, really nice. Okay, so once you've pressed it to the side, you might just want to turn it over onto the right side and just make sure that it's all pressing flat.
Do you do teaching, Gemma? Do you do workshops at the Pattern Preacher, or do you teach?
Again, at the minute, no, but it is something that we definitely want to do. It just makes it easy for the customer, really, doesn't it? Like if you go through each step.
So you're a very good teacher. It's like you're very natural. So it's your first time on telly.
Yeah, thank you. I do quite enjoy teaching, sort of showing people how to do things, because it's quite rewarding, isn't it, when you've actually made it at the end.
I must say, it's the most rewarding thing when somebody says to you, "Where'd you get that?" and you can say that you've made it.
Exactly.
It's the most exciting thing.
Exactly. Okay, so now we've attached it and we've pressed it. We're now going to do a top stitch. Now the top stitch, we can see it's basically very, very close to the top edge of the waistband. And the reason why we do top stitch is to prevent it from rolling.
Right, so it isn't just decorative, it also has a function.
It actually does have a purpose. Yeah. It's basically to stop the basically fabric from rolling. So when you're wearing it, you don't see like the inside of the waistband like rolling out. So we're going to basically top stitch on the panel where you've overlocked. You're going to make sure that you top stitch. I'm just going to press that a bit better. Sorry. You're going to top stitch on the inside edge of the overlock panel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kat wants to know if you have an ironing station set up at home.
I do.
If you do a lot of ironing.
Yeah, so it depends. If I'm just doing little bits and bobs like I am here for the waistband, I've got like, similar to yourself, I've got like a little flat, it's like a cutting board on one side and an ironing board on the other. I bought it years ago at a craft show and it's literally served me so much purpose. But yeah, if I'm doing like, for instance, the trouser leg or a French seam, I like to have the whole ironing board like set up because it just makes it a lot more easier. Okay, I think that will do. So, like I said, we're going to stitch on this edge here really close. So normally do a 2 to 3 mil top stitch. Now let me just figure out on this machine how to align it.
And this is where your top stitching is going to show up because you've got your white thread, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would be always trying to match mine in so you don't see it. But if you're confident, go for a nice fancy thread. Do you change your stitch length, just top stitch?
No, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same, yeah. So you might want to go a little bit slower for this because if you go off of track ever so slightly, you can notice it. So I'm just going to do my typical stop and start. So you can see there that there is like a 2 mil distance in between. So the way I'm aligning it here is I'm making sure that the inside the foot there's like a little ridge, a little clear ridge. I'm making sure that the seam is between that and kind of like the line that's on the foot.
So you're not looking at the needle or where you're sewing, you're keeping your eye on that.
That's what I am, but some people might prefer to look at the needle. Everyone's a little bit different, aren't they? You can purchase top stitch foots, by the way, which make it easier.
What, sorry?
I believe you can purchase top stitch foots where it basically makes it a bit easier. So the guidance. I think you can for domestic anyway.
That's cool. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, okay.
You're happy with it?
Yeah, it looks like
You're such a perfectionist, I can tell. She's like, I'm not quite happy with that, or I am happy with that. It's like, okay, yeah.
If I make a mistake,
you know, you can't
I'm one of them people where I have to unpick it.
Do your friends and family always ask you to turn things up and alter things?
Yeah, definitely, all the time. Every time I go visit a friend, they've got like 3 bags of clothing. Like, can you fix this for me? One of my friends, she'd burnt a pair of her trousers. Like, I think it was a friend or something had burnt them, and they were like her favourite trousers. And luckily, it was right near the hem, so she's asked me to basically turn them up for her. So then, well, to be fair, I'm going to see her in probably the next month or so. So I've got 4 weeks to do it. Okay, we're nearly there.
Very therapeutic, isn't it? Is anybody else just like loving this?
So when you are doing it, just make sure you kind of pull both the waistbands out slightly, so you're really, really pulling that seam open. So you can make, if you've not pressed it very well, like I haven't pressed it the greatest, to be quite honest, you can really make sure that you are getting the right distance from your needle to the seam. Okay, and we're there. I'm just going to back tack and cut.
This is where we examine your top stitching.
This is where we see if I've gone off, and if we have, it's because I was talking. Okay, so we can see here now that I have gone off ever so slightly, but it's 2 mil, around about 2 mil that you're going to basically do. So when you fold it over to the edge like that, you can see there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to press it nice and flat.
Lovely.
So you can see. So you're just going to run the nose of the iron sort of on that edge there.
Good morning, Morag. Oh, she said, how short, can I shorten the leg? Can I, she said, what did she say, sorry? How short can the leg be? You can have hot pants if you want.
Yeah, I mean, they would definitely look great as kind of like a culotte style, definitely. Yeah. Obviously, that's entirely up to you, really. You can cut it as short as you want. You can even add length to it if you want. But the length we've kept the same across all sizes. We haven't graded what we call grading. We haven't changed the length of the leg at all. It is a standard length. It should be okay for like most heights. But you can shorten it to whatever you want. That's up to you. That's the whole point of making your own garment. You can make it as unique as you want.
It's not going to alter the pattern.
No, it's not going to affect anything really. The hem turn can still be the same. Yeah. It's not going to affect how you make it or anything like that. It just means you've got less fabric to basically stitch. Okay, so we've now stitched that. Like so. So it's nice and flat and crisp. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next I can either do hem turn. Should we do something a bit different? Yeah, and do a hem turn, or I can show you how to put the waistband on the trouser.
How long we got, sorry, Jo? About 10 minutes, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so if we do, let's do a hem turn. Yeah. Do something a bit different and just show you something else that we can do. So, like I said earlier on, this is a leg that I made earlier that's got a little bit creased. So with the hem turn, again, it's optional how you want to do it, but in our booklet, we've advised that you do 1 centimetre turn, 2 centimetre turn. So, it is that, I believe. Yeah, 1 centimetre and 2 centimetre. So what I would suggest is, first of all, let's just press this fabric flat.
There's loads of patterns, by the way, in baskets. Please do make sure you're checking out before the end of the hour, because I've got a feeling this one could be nearing up on selling out. A lot of people have got it in their basket.
Okay, so we're just going to press it nice and flat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it by 1 centimetre and we're going to press that really on with the nose of the iron. Going to press that like so. Luckily, with this fabric being quite lightweight, you can see the crease that you're putting into the fabric with the iron. Sometimes if it's a bit more heavier weight, you might find it's easier to kind of pin it into place before you iron it. But in this instance, I can kind of like hold it.
I suppose there's a lot of hemming to do and it's quite a wide leg, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we're doing it like this is so you don't see a raw edge. I mean, earlier on, obviously, for the Olivia, we done an overlock and a turn and a stitch. That's another option, but it just means that your length's going to be that little bit longer by about 2 centimetres. Nearly there. Okay, So you've done the first centimetre, and now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it again by 2 centimetres. So that 1 centimetre is going to stay inside, and you're going to fold it a further 2 centimetres like this.
Right. And press again.
And press again. Like that. So if I get a tape measure, that should be 2 centimetres. I don't know by eye. Let's see. Okay, it's like a mil or 2 over, but you know, roughly 2 centimetres.
That's amazing. Get your eye in. I've seen those. We've got them. The prim pressing sort of gauges. Have you seen them? And you can press on them, and they're like a tape measure that you can press on.
Oh, great! I've never seen them actually. No,
they're
never.
really good, and they've got lots of different markings.
Oh, great!
I think they're called ironing. I can't think what they're called, Kat.
Might have to invest in one.
Ironing ruler. I think it's an ironing ruler.
Yeah, for something like this, that would be really handy, definitely.
Just so then you're consistent.
Yeah.
Had a message from Wendy. Morning, Wendy. She says, I don't dress make, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this hour. You're a very gentle talking what, sorry, Kat? Perfect teacher.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
And a good match with me. I'm not calm at all, am I? You are a good calming influence on me, actually.
Okay, I'm just conscious of time, so, and it is a little bit fiddly, this, so I am just going to do the front section of it. I think it's the front or the back, one of them. I'm basically just going to do half of it to show. Okay. So you can see here that we've done a centimetre turn. So you've done a centimetre, and then what we've done is we've done a further 2 centimetres, like so. Now, what we recommend in our booklet is to now hand sew that down before you basically before you machine sew it. So, I mean, I'm going to use navy thread. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah,
is it contrast enough? So, I did thread this before I came on, but it's come undone. Let me just... You might find it easier to use a contrast stitch.
So is this just to tack it in place?
It's just to make it easier, and the reason why I'm recommending it with this fabric, just because it moves quite easily, it's just better. And what I would recommend is that you stitch on the edge where it's a centimetre down. So you're going to basically just, it doesn't need to be neat at all, it can be...
Just a running stitch?
It's literally just a running stitch. So if you don't feel comfortable with hand sew, what you can do is you can increase the stitch on your machine and kind of run a stitch along that way.
Yeah, just lengthen it right to 5.
Yeah, it just basically needs to be big enough so that you can unpick it once you've stitched. Just going to move that. Are we okay for time?
Yeah. 5 minutes?
Okay, great.
Yeah, this hour's gone quicker, hasn't it?
Definitely. Okay, so you can kind of see there that I've stitched it down. I think I'll leave it there. Let's just... You don't need to knot it off or anything like that because you are going to unpick it in a minute anyway.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to stitch on the right side of the fabric. So you're going to turn it over like so. And then you need to make sure that your stitch is as close to this edge inside as possible. So this can be a little bit difficult to get it aligned.
So when you've tacked it, have you stitched it basically where you know that you want to stitch on the right side? So you've stitched as close to the fold?
Yeah, so what I've done is I've stitched it to make sure that it's down and it's a bit more flatter. But because this fabric's quite transparent, which is quite good, you can actually see, there you go, can you see it?
Where the fold is?
Yeah, you can see where the fold is, so you need to try and stitch as close to this edge as possible, leaving only like a millimetre or so. So let me just fiddle around with this machine and see. Because at the minute you put it on this machine, you then can't see it. So it's all about just getting that needle in right to start off with, and then that's your guidance.
So you just do a bit of stitching and just check that it's caught?
That's what I would recommend to do, yeah. Okay, so you can see that I didn't even catch it
Right.
at all. So I need to move it in a bit more, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see there that there is about 2 millimeters left of space. I mean, that's okay. You might want to get it a little bit closer than that. Do you know how you move the needle down on this one? Because what I find best is if you turn the needle into the fabric,
Yeah.
it's easy
The
to
hand
do it
crank on
like
the
that.
side.
Oh, is there one on the side? Perfect. Thank you. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, all these different machines are different, aren't they?
I mean, yeah. There you go. So that is better. A lot better. So I'm going to follow that line all the way around and then we can have a look.
You're such a perfectionist, aren't you? Literally making sure to the millimetre.
I don't think this is going to be perfect, but let's
Don't
just go
worry.
ahead
At home,
anyway.
you'll have a lot more time to spend and make sure that you've got.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the most fiddliest bit.
Oh, I think it's really good to take the time. Especially it's your pair of trousers. You want to make sure that you wear these and show them off.
Definitely. Okay, so you can see, so the bobbin's got a little bit caught there, but you can see now where I've stitched it, I have gone off a little bit, but the most ideal thing is you're going to keep that 2 mil all the way along like that. Yeah, you can see I've gone a bit wonky, but if I show you
Oh, no,
on
you've
here,
not at all.
so
can't
on
even
this
see
bit,
that.
you can see, like, you can't see it very well on here, but you should have an equal distance all the way through,
Right.
which should be about 2 centimetres basically.
So have you just used the same thread there? I thought it looks like you've almost done like a blind 10 stitch on these ones because you can't see the thread. It's just a.
It's exactly this. Yeah, it's just because the
Yeah.
thread matches the base, you can't see it very
Brilliant.
well at all. So,
That's
but
good.
yeah, it's just making sure you have about 2 to 3 mil distance between the in edge to your stitch, and on the out edge you just need that 2 centimetre gap basically.
Like you say, just spending that little bit of time, trial and error, making sure that you're happy with it, and then you can whiz round and just your guide. don't
Exactly.
you?
Yeah, it's just getting familiar with the machine foot really.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. It's been
Great.
so nice to meet you. I think we've run out of time. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're going to be back anyway with 2 other patterns, aren't you?
That is correct. Yeah. So we've got I believe the Grace, which is the pinafore, and
Yeah.
the Isabella.
Nice. Oh, the Isabella. We were saying which one's the Isabella because there's so many people who are checking out on the Isabella already.
It's got a V-neck and it's a slightly oversized dress and it comes with a belt, so it kind of like brings you in the middle if you want to wear that.
Oh, lovely. Do you know what date you're back? Do you know when it is?
I want to say the 26th.
Okay.
So I believe that's next Wednesday or Thursday.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you
not
very,
long.
very
Thank
much.
you.
It's been lovely to meet you and thank you for your demos as
Great.
well.
Thank you very much.
Right, those of you that haven't yet bought the patterns, if you haven't yet checked out, this is how you do it. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. So the Sienna trouser pattern, if you haven't yet checked out, as I say, very popular indeed. Sizes 6 to 20. Remember, all of the measurements, second image on the web, or on the description, I should say, not second image, they're available. This side, £15, £7.99. Inside you get all of your instructions, you get your beautiful quality pattern paper, you also have your glossary in there again as well, you've got your QR code for extra demonstrations, plus we saw quite a lot of those more intricate detailed parts today with Gemma. So it's brilliant, isn't it, to be able to have, you know, all of those different visual ways of there's lots of great diagrams in there as well. What was it? Sorry, Kat? If you were, oh yeah, we're saying, look, there's lots of different fabrics that these trousers are going to be great for. So have a look on the website and see different fabrics. We're thinking denims, linen, it's going to look beautiful as well. If you did want any of the viscose, the only reason I'm saying that is because I know viscose can be a bit silky and slippy sometimes. So if you are starting out and you're thinking, I want something with a bit more structure, a bit easier to work with, then have a look on the website and see. The second page on the website, there you go. So the second page underneath is on the website. Will be lots of different fabrics perfect for this pattern. Have put a few fabrics together. This is a big fabric bundle, which was the one that Gemma was working with. You get 3 meters of fabric in this bundle, which is enough to make well, the largest size 20 in the trousers. As Gemma said, they're all the same leg length, but you do have options, obviously, of shortening or lengthening. £47.49. That's for 3 meters, 6 units. Oh, we were thinking about you could make matching headbands or matching scrunchies, little garments to go with as well. So if you've got any fabrics left over, if you are making a smaller size, lots that you're going to be able to use it for. It's a lovely soft fabric though. It's really, really lovely. We've also got the pink, 1/2 metre. This is by the 1/2 metre now. So if you do want to have a go at making it, we do have the navy blue as well by the 1/2 metre. It's underneath us on the website. £7.99.5 metre for your blush pink viscose. It is really lovely and lightweight. I think that's going to be great for a nice casual pair of summer trousers on these hot days. Maybe even over like a swimming costume or over, yeah, on your holidays. They're lovely. Holiday fabric. I do love that fabric. We've also got the rope effect one, which is £7.99. The rope print. Viscose, £7.99, 1/2 metre. Lovely and cool, isn't it? Again, your chance to buy as much or as little as you want. The navy blue is by the 1/2 metre. Also, it's underneath on the web, but as I say, have a look on the website. There's so many different fabrics it's going to work with. Interfacing, if you haven't yet got interfacing in your stash, this is going to be great for the waistband. It just gives it that nice stability, especially if you're working with any of the lighter weight fabrics. This is going to be essential. You get 90 centimetre by 50 centimetre piece. For £2.99, it's your super lightweight white interfacing, just £2.99. Now, at the moment, we still have availability on this, and it's already sold very, very well today. If you haven't yet checked out on your concealed zipper foot, it's £19. Now, this is suitable for any any Elna and Janome machines that are category B or C. If you're unsure, speak to the customer service team, and they should be able to help you out. Just £19, and that is your concealed zipper foot. As the back of the trousers have got a lovely concealed zip. They're beautiful, aren't they? Now, the Olivia dress was the other one that we were working on today, this morning at 8 o'clock. If you missed the demonstration, you can watch it back on YouTube. It's got a really lovely, like, elasticated waist. It's got that shearing. It's amazing. Beautiful tea dress with great sleeves as well. All of the measurements and the requirements are on the back of the pattern, which is again on our website. If you want to have a closer look at that, do search the website, search the Pattern Preacher, have a look because there's all the patterns on there. We're going to be back with Sarah and a gorgeous quilt right after this.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual. Always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Rosie Wells.
My name's Poppy and I'm a nutritional therapist.
Hi, I'm Ruth Lynette and I can't wait to join you all on the brand new Gemporia Lifestyle channel.
If you're a fan of primal living, you're going to adore what's around the corner.
What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is healthy habits.
Feeling good, it's about looking great.
Making sure that we're taking good care of ourselves inside.
And it's about the life that you lead and the home that you live in.
All of this is why I'm so excited.
We've got the most wonderful team.
Homeware deals and primal deals under one roof on one channel.
I can't wait to share this brand new channel with you. So we'll see you soon on Gemporia Lifestyle.
Gemporia Lifestyle, coming soon to Freeview Channel 74 and gemporia.com.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck. Oh, what day is it today? I always love looking for the makes of the week. Oh, the only reason I say it is because the last advert was saying about the make of the week. So I was thinking, I always love having a good sift through on a Wednesday or Thursday and having a look through. Oh, okay, Kat. She's saying we're getting lots of messages saying, where's Debbie? I'm so sorry, it's me today. I'm going to be with you, in fact, the next 3 Mondays because Debbie's got loads going on. She's busy, busy, busy. She will be back with you on a Monday as normal when it's back in September, but I'll be with you. She said this so many times in my ear today, and can you not tell that I've chosen to ignore it? She's like, don't worry, Morag, don't worry, Debbie will be back soon. Debbie will be back. I think we just let everybody know that Debbie will be back. Of course she'll be back, but you got me today, I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. Let's do the quilt bundle. No, let's do the book because I love Annie quilting books. They are brilliant value for money. Look, $8.99 and you've got so many projects. You've got 11 quilting projects here. Now, you know my maths is awful, but even I can work out that is pence per project. That's so good. I'm not going to tell you how many pence exactly, but it's pence, isn't it? No need to work it out. Let's have a good old flick through because there's such beautiful projects in here. they're, unlike the first out with Sarah, these here you've got really precise instructions of everything you're going to need, all of your measurements, all of your cutting instructions, really clear diagrams, beautiful photography, and a great mix of projects. It isn't just quilting. Don't get me wrong, it's a quilting book, but it isn't just quilts that you can make. Look at this. It's called a nifty napkin basket, table runner. You could use these for like a bread basket, couldn't you, or something? You've got the cherry marmalade topper as a little table topper. So nice, achievable, smaller projects. The maple leaf cushion, that looks so cool. It's applique. It's lovely, isn't it? Nice fabric as well. I like that a lot. In fact, that would look really nice in the fabrics that we've got today, wouldn't it? Or you could do that as, Christmassy with your metallic threads, couldn't you? Changing the colourway, because that's quite autumnal now, but you could almost make it into like snowflakes, can't you? They're just star pillows, star cushions. Really clear instructions. Oh, you've got some here. Thank you, Jo. Wondered what on earth you're doing. Oh, I love these as well, the little Suffolk puffs. These are so cute, your little yo-yos. And all of your templates are in the back. This is the quilt that we're working with today. It's the Magic Carpet Lap quilt. I wondered when Sarah said to me, it's magic. So we were trying to work out where the block is. It's magic. That's all we were told. So all we were told it's magic, so we will reveal all with Sarah. There's the finished quilt. It's 48 by 60 inches as well, so it's a great size quilt. What do you think, which colour do you like? These are your cool colours and then your warmer colours. They're both beautiful. Oh, this reminds you of what, sorry? In Greece, the evil eye. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do love the spray tan, this sort of spray effect. It's always like a mottled effect fabric. It works really, really well. Your true blue. There's so many projects in here. There are so many projects. Just £8.99. And then again, it takes you through all of your bits and bobs like your binding and your quilting. So it's a brilliant value for money at £8.99. I love that book. Annie's quilting books. Always very, very popular. That is Quilting for the Home. Now the blues, which is the one that Sarah's already made up for us, is this one. Now you're getting loads of fabric in here. 6 meters in total. Now that's enough to make the whole of the quilt. As I say, the finished size is big quilt plus your binding. You just need to add for your backing. So you have 2.5 meters of the purple, which, can you see what I mean about this mottle effect? It's so beautiful. It's going to add great texture. It's like purple clouds. Thanks, Jo. It's lovely. Love it. You've then also got 1.5 meters of cream, 1.5 meters of sky. Oh, that is nice. 1 meter of grey, but it's still got that lovely mottle effect. And then 0.5 meter of peacock. 6 meters in total. And look, I mean, that looks amazing, doesn't it? The colours together look beautiful. They do work really, really well in that colourway. We have also got a warm oranges and purples colourway, which is beautiful as well. I can't make up my mind. I'm definitely normally more of a warm colourways, but I love that. I think it's because I can see it all there. But can you see? Amazing. Oh, that is gorgeous with the purple as well, isn't it? Those colours are really nice together. So again, you're getting 6 meters. 6 meters of fabric. Really different, really, really different actually. Such a contrast. So it's up to you which one you go for. You get 2.5 meters of your orange for your background. You then also have 1.5 meters of your cream, 1.5 meters of tan. They're all with this mottle effect. 1 meter of blackberry, then 0.5 meter of lovely bright sunshine. £53.99. So all of those together will make up again finished size. Let me just quickly remind myself of the finished size of it. It's a big quilt, isn't it? It is 48 by 60 inches. 48 by 60 inches, so it's a great size, and that is going to be enough to do all of the front plus your binding for £53.99. Now also, I'm just going to very, very quickly mention wadding, because I know that we never get round to this. So it's really good to be able to talk about it. In fact, I'm going to ask Sarah, because I always like to ask everybody's different, it's down to personal preference, but depending on how you're going to use it, whether it be up on a wall or whether it be on a bed, which one you want to use. Now, this one is your 80-20, I believe, is it? Cotton, 80-20, yeah. This is your 80% cotton, 20% polyester. And it's beautiful quality, your queen size, £32.99. I always find that this 80-20 does tend to be the most popular, and it does recommend to stitch, let me see, 3.5 inches apart. It can be quilted as close as 1/4 inch and as far apart as 3.5 inches. So you don't need to do lots and lots of quilting with this one, actually. It will always say on the back, and it will always tell you as well about pre-washing, pre-shrinking your wadding as well. But have a look into that, and I'll ask Sarah as well. £32.99. There are different ones available on the website. We do have a polyester one, I think, as well somewhere. We've got the polyester one as well, which is obviously lighter weight. £29.99, 100% polyester. Oh, thank you. Who have we had a message from? Hi, Carol. Oh, thank you, Carol. She says, lovely welcome face this morning. Lovely to have you on our screen. Thank you, Carol. Unlike our cat, who's like, when's Debbie back? When is Debbie back? Sunday? Debbie will be back next week. She'll be back next weekend. She's ever so busy at the minute. She's very busy lady. So she's, yes, she'll be back with us on Sunday. Right, shall we get Sarah on? We're going to do a bit of magic. So we went all rogue with Sarah in the last time. We're going to do some magic tricks in this hour. So this is how you shop. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. Welcome back, welcome back. So, I say we went rogue in the first hour. We're going to do some magic in this one. I love this. I said to you earlier on, the Annie's quilting books are brilliant value, aren't
It's
they?
the first time I've ever used it, and it's perfect for the beginner. I mean, it's a confident beginner, but it's set out nicely for, you know, somebody who's just starting out.
Oh, brilliant. Now, do you have a favourite colourway? Just seeing it coming together as well in the warm colours. I love it. But
And I agree what Joe was saying about the Greek, because when I took a photograph of it, I laid it out on my decking at home, and I thought, well, actually, this looks like it could be a rug. I suppose hence the name. But yeah, they're both very pretty, aren't they? But,
So where is the block?
So I can show you maybe on this one, shall I?
We were trying. Wherever you want.
There's 12 blocks. So there is the first one. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 down.
Oh, see, we couldn't spot it at the start, but now, yes, I can see. So you've got a big square in the centre, the white square in the centre.
So if I maybe show, but yeah, to start off with, you don't see it at all.
No.
So it sort of looks a bit like that.
Bit of illusion.
So we'll make a block, and then I've got one part made, so we can maybe sew it together.
Fantastic.
But yeah, as it comes together, it forms the secondary, like this part, which you don't really see with the darker contrast.
No, it works really, really well in both colourways, actually, doesn't it? Especially with this almost like mottle effect fabric.
Yeah. And then the piano keys around the side, I think, just sort of like pops as well, doesn't it?
I've not seen a border like that before either.
No, I must admit, normally you get to that stage, you think, right, it's just straight pieces of width of fabric, but then it was like, oh, more strips to sew. But yeah, it's really, it is easy once you get into the swing of it. Then.
Well, they are all small pieces. I looked at all of your seams on the back.
And I was a good girl, pressed open, so John would be very proud of me.
You watching, John?
I'm sure he is, yeah. But yeah, it is a lovely quilt, and also a good one to make in stages, because I'm a bit like that. I very rarely will like speed quilt. So you want to like make maybe a block a night or something like that. So when you make the strips, I made them in one go, and then I just cut as I was making each block, so it's quite manageable from that point of view.
Fantastic. So we're going to make up a block.
Yes,
from
we
the
are.
start.
So I'll just leave that out. So you're working with width of fabric. So if I show you on here, so you need to get yourself organised, and always make a template or a key. Is the word, yeah. So because the book refers to the fabric in A, B, C, D.
Right.
So you need to, I mean, obviously the colourway that I'm working with today is actually very similar. So that's rather handy. But when I was making up the sample behind me, obviously the colours were totally different. So you need to make sure that you keep him on track. And I just use a good old clip, which I know we had as the early bird. I know.
It's so
because
good.
I just use so many. I mean, I've got them clipped onto every project, and they're just everywhere. So.
Oh, we had people messaging in saying they were using them for their lockdown fringe, clipping them up.
Yeah. Or you know, like when they can do those braids, 'cause that's quite in, isn't it? And then clip them up. But yeah, I do love clips. So I recommend once you've done that, label all your fabric up.
Right.
You're suited. So you're going to cut a width of fabric, and they are quite nice measurements. You're going to be cutting either 1.5, 2.5, and I think there's one that's 4.5. So not they're not sort of
too intricate.
Yeah, no 3, 7, 8 and all that sort of stuff. So stripology ruler is perfect for that. And then when you cut them, you will sew them together in blocks, like so. And there's going to be 6 blocks. So again, you see I've marked here X, Y. So they're all just in different sizes, but it's all in the book. And if I also show you back there, so you can see you'll have them all listed there, and then once you've done the full block, you give them another name. So this is, for example, block V, U, Y, and then that's the reference throughout. So it makes it nice and easy. So what we're now going to do then is, to make the block, we need to cut some strips. So, sorry, I'm moving all the camera angles, aren't I? So first of all, we're going to cut a Z block, which I got my fabric over here. So I say the stripology is perfect for this. And this is actually one of the larger blocks. It tells you on here. It's there 2.5 inch, so we will.
Have you got a stripology at home?
I have, yeah. Although mine must be, I think mine's one of the older ones. It's not as big as this.
This one's just the old original one. I don't think they even make this one anymore.
Yeah.
The XL is the same size as that, but it's just got extra markings on now. But
yeah, in fact, we've got the XL because I'm just looking. It's my fabric's wider.
Yeah.
So I could probably do with the XL.
We've got it. Joe, getting the discontinued one now. That's a square. Oh, that's it, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's good because you can square up your blocks on it as well, can't you? Is this the same one as yours?
No, mine must be, mine's a 12.5. I think there's like a 12.5 square one.
Might need to flip it over.
But this is perfect, yeah.
That's it.
Right, there we go. So we'll just line that up at the top, and you've got plenty of line across the top, your seams. Make sure you've got it nice and straight. I'll just take a little bit off the edge, and we're cutting a 2.5, we said on this, didn't we? Which is handily the, it's a square, isn't it? Which is this one here. Okay. So put that to one side, and then going to cut a U. So again, just keep all your little bits of papers with your labels on so you don't get confused, but if you do, you can always go back and reference it, so it's fine.
How many different colours are there then? What do you mean by U? I was thinking A, B, C, D, E, it gets to U.
There's six of what I call these sets. So you've got all your different colourways, but sewn in a different order. So like on here, you've got a small purple, but on this one, you've got a bigger purple.
Right.
So it's all the colours, but just in different width strips.
So you do need to get yourself organised.
Yeah, and do you know, it reminded me when I was doing it a little bit of the Bargello quilt that I did a few weeks ago, because it's a similar sort of technique where you're sewing strips and then you're cutting them and then you're sewing them back together again. But it's fine to do, you just need to be labelled, you know, keep yourself labelled and organised. So we'll cut now a U strip, and again, you're just following the instructions. It will tell you which to cut. So we'll just do a couple, and then I've got some prepped as well.
So on these, I've just noticed on the back of these, if you press them, does it tell you pressing instructions? Because you've got a lot of
I
seams.
just went open just because, you know, I've listened to John so many times that I daren't do anything else. But no, it doesn't say in the book, but I think it does lend itself to go open. Once you get to this stage, you can sort of say it becomes a complete maze of, you'll find that some of them do sort of push to one side a little bit, but there's so many seams that it probably is best to just take your time and do them open, and then
it reduces the bulk.
But you know, I've got some best press, so it's quite therapeutic to just sort of, you know, sew, press rather, nice and calm. So this one we're doing in 1.5, which is a star, isn't it? So
is there a joke that I don't know, Kat? She keeps saying, how many bobbins have you got through?
Oh yeah, I was telling Kat 5.
Did you?
Because normally I'm a bit sad, so when I do a project, I sort of think, oh, I wind the colour of the thread on. But I was like thinking, again, I've got to rewind, but literally it's like a maze of stitching.
So wind yourself some bobbins beforehand.
Yes, I would say so, definitely. But it's a lovely project to do, so don't be put off by that.
No.
And I think what's good as well is because it is just strips, and it's quite good to think that you can create something like this. I think the last quilt I did, I was doing flying geese and all sorts. And so if you miss a point, sometimes you can feel a bit cross with yourself because you know it's not as perfect as it could be. But with this as well, it's quite forgiving. When we come to put them together, they are staggered anyway, so there's no big pressure to match all your seams up, which I quite liked. So, okay, so you go along and you'd cut all of your strips. So I said there's 11 strips in a block, which I'll show you here. There we go. So we'll start to build that now. So we've just cut the centre strip, haven't we? And then next to that, we have a Y, which I have handily already cut. Oops. We're going to sew those. In fact, let's build it. It always helps because even then I'll arrange it and I can still pick it up wrong.
Yeah, so you best to lie it all out and check that you're happy with it, where it is. Sometimes I can never see it when it's on the desk. I almost have to take a photograph of it and just look at it.
I've done that loads of times, and you convince yourself that it's right, and then for some reason you just maybe handle it differently when you get to the machine and you think, oh no. So in the centre we've got the Z, which is the big of the down a little bit, the bigger strip. So then we've got the Y either side, and next we've got an X, which is, and I've actually sewn those two together just to speed things up a little bit. And then here we've got the one we've just cut, the U and the V. So
that looks right to me.
That look okay, because literally,
it's hard when you look at it from there, isn't it? But then you look at it at the monitor on the screen and it looks right.
I made all of that, and then when I come to sew these together on Saturday, I did the first one, and then I did what you should never do, is I made the first one and I convinced myself that was right without checking it here.
Right.
So then I made another one, but without looking at that, I made it based on the first one, which was wrong. So I made 2 that were wrong. Anyway.
So are there 2 different blocks then?
No, it's just the one block, but I can't remember. I think I did that. Which
looks right.
Yeah, when
actually,
I was I've sent that one to it now, but that one was like that as well. And when I was looking down there, I thought, oh yeah, that's right. And then it suddenly twigged it wasn't.
So keep going back to your instructions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh well, I mean, that's what the unpickers are for, I suppose, aren't they? And also on this one, because I mentioned before I am a bit of a pinner, but on this I probably didn't really, because as you can see on most of them you've no seams to match up, so that helps. You can just sort of...
So all those seams aren't nesting necessarily, are they?
No, no. There's a little bit of nesting going on when you join the blocks at the end, but at this stage, in fact, what I was doing depends on how... Oh, I'm putting my foot on the power.
Lost your foot.
On the, I was pressing the power. Is just, I tried to make sure that underneath I hadn't caught, you know, my open seams, because sometimes they twist. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter if they do, but it just helps with things lying flatter if you can. So I tend to just like lift up like that, and then I know.
Just check that it's going the right way.
Yeah. And if you press them nicely, they're going to stay flat anyway. Okay. And then with press, what I'll do is I'll sew this one to this one, and then we'll press. So again, and the good thing, it doesn't actually on this one, because it doesn't matter. So, oops. But yeah, it's a lovely little machine actually.
Oh, apparently John does recommend swapping it round so you don't get a curve.
Ah, right.
Do you mean, so if you're sewing strip sets like this, doing one end one way and then one end the other way?
Yeah, I mean, when I did the Bargello, because it was like a width of fabric, I did definitely then. On these ones, it's a bit shorter. It's not as critical, but if you're into good habits, then I'm all for that. So we'll just give that a little press.
Yeah, that's how we're behaving ourselves, aren't we?
Yes.
Doing it the right way.
Yes, and I've got the iron on, so that was funny. Last time I was like thinking, wonder if the viewers can tell this iron isn't on.
I could.
You could, and you were being like very diplomatic, saying, "Sarah, have you got it plugged in?"
I was thinking, I think she's just pretended. Just going, it's all right.
Yeah, it's improv. It's fine. So let's give that a bit of steam, and then so you can see here, you can try not to get any twisting, but
do you use a bit of steam even when you?
Yeah, I do. And then when I turn it over, I'll go with a bit of best press as well. Just sometimes getting the...
Gives you a nice crisp.
It does.
Crisp iron.
Yeah, and literally, because I guess I'm on my sewing journey with the viewers as well.
When did you start sewing then?
2 years ago.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
Sarah,
literally.
you do everything, don't you?
Yeah, well, crafting, and that's how I sort of got into it, paper crafting.
So did you do paper crafting a lot longer?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've been doing that about 20 years.
Right.
But I started watching the channel.
Yeah.
And I was just watching it for ages thinking, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Because all the demonstrators made it look so easy, and I thought, it can't be easy. Anyway, one day I plucked up courage and I bought a kit, and that was it. I was just away. And I went on loads of workshops and just built up.
Was it a quilting kit that you bought for the
Yes.
first? What was your first one? Because
Yeah.
you bought dressmaking. You were getting involved yesterday's show, weren't you? Dressmaking. You were
And
embellishing.
I went to Festival of Quilts last year and came up to the stand, and I bought some K facet fat quarters and bits and pieces.
Oh.
But the kits are great. In fact, there was a lady on the fans page yesterday was asking about if you knew what to do. And I just said to her, you can't go wrong. All the kits are so well put together. You've not got to worry about colours and things, have you? And
no.
The instructions are really clear. You've got the YouTube demonstrations.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of like just
I would love that you're on that sewing journey as well and learning at the same time.
And I always say to people, like when I did the Bargello last time, that was the first time I'd ever made a Bargello. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever made the quilt. So anybody who is watching and thinks, I've never made that before, go for it.
Proof of the pudding, there you go.
So there you go. I mean, you don't have the pressure of doing it live on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pressure, isn't it, with me eagle-eyeing at you, Sarah. It's different when you're at home.
It is, definitely.
But how amazing. I bet you didn't think then, 2 years ago when you started watching, that you'd be here then demoing.
No, I used to watch you and think, oh, that'd be really good to you know, have a look behind the scenes and see how the programmes are put together. And...
Oh, I hope we're not a disappointment behind the scenes. You know, when you meet like your favourite celebrity and then you're really disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely not, no. Oh, I tell you, how you guys do it, I do not know. And like the prep in between and the work that goes into the shows.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And everybody appreciates it, don't they? The fans do.
Oh, I love the community. I think it's such a really, those of you that aren't on the Facebook fan page, it's a really good place to learn and get tips at any time of night, any hour, whenever you're sewing, if you need any tips or troubleshooting.
Yeah, I love that.
Someone's always there, aren't they, to help?
Yeah, and the makes, as you were saying earlier, the makes of the week. Because I like to play a little game and I look at them and I think, right, I'm going to try and guess if I can guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm okay, but I like this week was that panda one.
Yeah.
And I thought that I knew that one would probably get one because that deserved. I mean, they all deserve, really, don't they? But some of them just really stand out, don't they?
Yeah, the panda one was the one I picked. It was so lovely.
Was it? Yeah.
I'm not ready to tell anybody. Does John not tell people? I thought John says, oh, Vic's picked this one, I picked this one, Dev's picked this one. No.
Oh, well.
There you go. I thought it was brilliant.
There's a bit of the magic taken away. Sorry. So that's that. So you can see how it literally comes together quite nicely. So
hang on, is that... Yeah, that is right, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you've got me going then, Vic.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's exactly how I did it, because you do sort of keep messing around. And But yeah, it's those two. Yeah. We're good to go, yeah?
Yeah.
Make me a doubting Thomas.
Sorry. No.
No. It's funny because you do, literally, no matter how many times. But I say that's what you've got your unpickers for, isn't it? So it's just a nice 1/4 inch seam.
I suppose you get yourself a bit of a production line going.
You could. I mean, I'm tempted to say you could chain piece, but I'm not going to because it's live TV. But I did a little bit of chain piecing when I was at home.
Right. Once you've made yourself a block, like you say, there is only one block. So once you're then confident with that and you've laid it out.
Yeah, you could if you were
confident.
Of the mind to. Whoops. But I think sometimes it's nice just to do, like we were saying earlier, like the mindful sewing, because so many of the patterns you've really got to like be on it all the time. Or if you're dressmaking, things aren't so forgiving then, are they? You've got to be a bit more precise. But
well, Gemma was saying this earlier. She said she started out patchwork
she was
and
telling
dressmaking,
me.
and before dressmaking, and she said I find it quite repetitive, but also therapeutic in that way. So if you don't get me wrong, there are some patterns where you're doing here, there, and everywhere. But if you do just want something that you conquer your block and just do a block each night, an hour sewing a day or something,
then it's good to go. I mean, that's why I think the improv is really good. So.
Yeah.
And all your scraps and your bits and pieces, then you can. So we're just sewing the last piece now, just remind myself, right?
Brilliant.
Okay. You can see it does come together.
Still no points to match on that one?
No, literally. No. If there is, we wouldn't be matching them. No. I mean, when you do hit a point, it's like a high five moment, isn't it? You think, oh yeah. But yeah, this is no pins for me, which is quite unusual. I will use some pins when we sew them together.
And the machine's being your friend today.
It is. Oh, I did have a bit of a... Because you just get so sort of cross with yourself because you think, well, I know how to operate a machine. I don't know, I was doing something wrong.
Clearly. Oh, we said we always at home, you give your machine a bit of time out, don't you? And you step away from it and then you come back to it. And you can sleep. But when you're on it, it's a bit different.
Yeah. And when I watched it back, I thought, actually, it probably wasn't as bad as I thought it was in real
your
life.
Head, yeah.
But, you know, there you go. So literally now, you can see it's a maze of seams. But it is worth taking the time just to get in there. And I think it's quite therapeutic, I suppose, isn't it? Actually, if you've got one of those clover, is it a finger?
Oh, hang on, one of these or this one? This one.
Oh, God, you've got the full set.
Yeah, I suppose, anything that's going to
just
so
help.
You're not, so you're not getting your finger near the iron. You can just roll it out or use the iron finger,
Yeah, definitely, it's good. I mean, sometimes if you get a roll and it just goes, it's fine, but occasionally the fabrics have all stuck together, it's like really hard to. And there.
So only 2 years into your sewing journey, and have you had a bit of a dabble with most things? Quilting, dressmaking, bag making?
Yeah, a little bit. I did. In fact, my first project was the yo-yo bucket bag from a Japanese book. Can't remember the name now.
Oh gosh, and that's quite a tricky one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I made the yo-yos and then had to put the base in. I mean, I love watching like Debbie's demos.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she'll just stand here, won't she? Cut up some fabric and
brilliant.
Boom. Whereas I'm literally like quite Blue Peter, and I've got all my prep done, everything's in bags and things. But yeah, so no, I'd like to. I don't know because some people I know if you're a dressmaker they'll say, oh, I've never quilted or vice versa. But I quite like just having a
go at everything.
Yeah. And I think when you're new to something, you've probably not got quite the same fear, have you? Because you don't know what you're going to specialise in, so you just do it all. So.
Yeah, I agree. Brilliant. So that's
the block done. Whoops. And so then, you can imagine, so they're all going to fit along like so. But I have another one nearly prepped. Let's just get that and then we can sew. Are we okay for time? So I've got the keys to around the side I can show as well. I guess we're okay,
Yeah, we're fine for time.
Yeah. So literally, let me just put this together. It's the same as I've done before on this one. And then we'll have two.
So even though, I mean, it looks like you've got, you have got a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
I think the difficult, or the more concentration you've got to have is actually in your preparation, is in the cutting and the sewing these strip sets.
Yeah, I mean, I always do this, and I think I've heard a few of the designers say the same, that I tend to cut out maybe the day before.
Yeah.
And then get it all pressed, labelled up, make a key if I'm making a key, and then leave it. And to be fair, sometimes that can take a few hours, can't it? And then the next day I'll be ready to start piecing. But I tend to, if I just do like a couple of blocks a day, I'll cut as I go then, if I can, rather than have, because I know when I was talking to John, he said, oh, he likes to like cut everything and bag it, and whereas if I can, I'll leave it on my fabric as long as possible, and just cut it when I need it. But each to their own, isn't it?
Yeah, finding a way of the way that you find it easier.
I suppose it's if you've got like multiple projects on the go, which we always have, haven't we?
Have you managed during lockdown to get a few unfinished projects finished?
Yeah, I did actually, and I did. I suppose it was a bit improv style. At the beginning of lockdown, I rummaged through all my like block samples or things that I'd done, and I just pieced them all together.
Oh,
and it made a right sort of jumbled, patchwork quilt, which looks quite pretty. It's got a bit of a plique in and different patchworks.
Oh, nice.
I just need to quilt it now. That's the hard bit, isn't it?
I suppose you were still busy during lockdown. That's when we started doing videos with you.
I did. So I did like a couple of videos from home, and my husband
We've all got very
filmed.
techie, haven't we? During lockdown, all of a sudden we know how to do all these videos.
In fact, he's got big respect for you guys, because literally just to do like a 20-minute video, it sort of like took us a whole day.
Yeah.
But it was good fun. Like I say, there was nothing else to do, was there? So why not? So we've got two blocks here, and they will come together like so. So you can see there, we'll try and match as best we can. I mean, hopefully they will, because like, it is true what they say about the 1/4-inch foot. They are a bit different on each machine. Well, that's what I'm going with anyway, because that's my excuse.
No, they are. You should measure and just see, because even the settings, some machines have got 1/4-inch sort of settings, haven't they?
Yes.
Sometimes it just slightly differs between machines as well.
It does.
I found that when I was going to my classes and then going back to mine at home, if I was taking it between two different machines, I was wondering what it was, and that was when somebody said to me, just check and literally measure it and see, and I bet it might be slightly out.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But it does make a difference. But I think it is quite a forgiving design, this, because I mean, your eyes just sort of go all over, don't they?
That's it, yeah.
So you know, like sometimes you do a quilt and you think, oh, the eye's going to go to that point that I missed. But I think on here, you've probably got more chance of getting away with.
Yeah, it's got quite an illusion. It's like one of those. Do you remember during lockdown? Actually, they started going around again. Remember those pictures that you stare at and pull it away and things pop out?
Yes,
that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
it's like all illusionary. It's really cool.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. So, and I love this. Great for keeping your pins in, isn't it? Okay.
So do you now have a dedicated sewing space?
I do. In fact, I need to film, Hayley had asked me to film, you know, like a little VT, which I haven't done yet from home. But I've got a craft room and it's a room of 2 halves. So I've got like the messy side, well, it's all messy, but the messy side where I do like painting, glitter, stamping, all the mess like that. And then I've got what I call the cleaner side where I have my sewing machines and keep my fabric and things.
It's because the rest of it you've been doing for 20 years. This is still the new one that you're like, right, I'm still keeping everything nice and organised.
And I think that's probably what attracted me, because I love like creating things and being creative. But what I was finding with the paper crafting is like after a while, like you can only have so many cards and things like that. Whereas when I got into sewing, I could make things that I could wear, and suddenly I thought, oh, actually, this is going to be better for me than accumulating like boxes of greetings cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do, the two do cross over. In fact, I've noticed more so now with my crafting that I'm using fabric in my cards and things. Like my Christmas cards last year, I did like a free motion Christmas tree.
Oh, so that's good. They're also transferable skills, aren't they?
Yeah, because you get so many scraps that they're quite nice just to put on a card with just a little sentiment, so you may as well. So there we are.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty, doesn't it? So let's give that a quick
It does.
press.
Do you know what? I really like this colourway as well. It's a lovely, warm, again, quite a Moroccan feel.
Yeah.
That was like...
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I don't know, am I going a bit rogue now, whether if you had both bundles, whether you could do like a...
Oh, yeah.
See that? Yeah.
See, well, it would change the look, wouldn't it? It would change some of the blocks, but no, that would work. That would work as well.
But yeah, it's very striking, which is the effect.
So again, just opening all of these seams out.
Yeah, every last little one. I think it's worth doing, and then if you are obviously, if you're going to quilt this, or if somebody's going to quilt it for you, they'll thank you for having all these pressed seams.
Oh, I bet there's so much. There's lots that you could do actually, quilting wise. Or you could keep it quite minimal and just literally follow the lines. There's plenty of places.
Like echo quilt every other line or something. Or I must admit, I really enjoyed doing the wavy line, because sometimes just the thought of changing and putting your free motion foot on seems like and dropping your feed dogs.
Yeah.
Whereas you can just do some nice quilting just straight. Okay, so that's that done.
What's the time, Jo? Do we have time to do the piano keys as well? Oh yeah, plenty of time. I think. Do you say about 15 minutes?
Okay, lovely. So the piano keys, I don't know if that's a technical term, but I think it is. Yeah.
So you border around the edge. Like you say, normally you tend to have just solid borders, which you can do. It's up to you. But I really like the fact that you've got these instructions, so you can use this for this technique for.
And actually, there is quite a bit of fabric left over as well. So you've got enough fabric to do your binding, which obviously I haven't done. But also, if we look at the strips, I think from memory, I probably got sort of like maybe that much of each strip left, plus, you know, some bits and pieces from your yardage as well. So it's always nice to have stuff left over. And especially if you're new as well, if you make a mistake or your ruler slips, then you've got wriggle room to cut it again, where there's nothing worse is that when you've cut it and you think,
that's it, yeah.
So that's quite nice.
That's good to know.
So the piano keys then, so it's the same colours, but you're just going to cut them in 1.5 inch strips. So quite tiny, but again, you've got your stripology ruler, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then sew those, I'll show this one. Sew those together, so it's the width of the fabric, and press all your seams open. And then literally you're going to subcut those into 4.5 inch pieces, which you will then sew together. And I think down here, I think it took 10, and then 8 across the top, and then you'll have a square just to finish off the corners. So 4 squares to go on as well.
Really effective, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think it's just quite clever because you could have, as you say, could have quite easily have just done a plain board on there. I mean, you have like a tiny border, an inner border they call it.
Oh yeah.
Which once you've made your 12 blocks, so it's 3 across, 4 down, you will then sew, like I think it was the top and bottom first, and then the sides in these 1.5-inch strips. So that sort of frames that piece, and then obviously you're putting the piano keys on, and then after you've done your piano keys, you've another 1.5-inch strip.
So that's another border before your binding.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
And have you got enough fabric to do like a? Could you do like a scrappy binding? Do you think?
Yeah. Actually, that would work really well. I can't remember what. I think the book recommended doing it in the purple.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Well, I suppose that would just draw it all in. But if you wanted then even more detail again around.
Yeah, I think that would make that would look really effective, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. So shall I cut this and
yeah,
do?
fab. Yeah, that'd be good. Do one. Thank you.
So, I can go with the smaller one on this one, I think. So yeah, so 4.5-inch strips. But yeah, anybody who's not got the stripology, I mean, really.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
There's so much you can do. I suppose you always think, oh, well, you know, how often do I need strips? But there's so many projects that call for all these different cuts, and it just eliminates the maths, doesn't it? But not only then cutting strips, you can cut your squares and triangles and hexagons.
And the grips as well that you don't always think about, but they really do make a big difference when you're sort of piecing lots of things together.
Yeah.
So literally, so you'd cut all of those along, and then you arrange them so that you've got alternate keys, as it were. And again, goes together nicely, so you don't need to pin. I mean, obviously you can pin, but you don't need to. In fact, when I'm at home, I have my extension table on all the time.
Yeah, good idea.
You just sort of, and it just helps because you've just got extra workspace and things.
And you've got your 1/4-inch foot on, haven't you, which helps with this.
Actually, on here, I mean, when I'm at home, if I'm in the zone, I will be good and I'll do like a reverse stitch and things. But to be fair, on here, because you're subcutting it that many times, it probably doesn't really matter anyway, because everyth's going to get sewn in again.
Yeah.
That, you know, like sometimes you don't want the seam to be weakened.
Yeah.
But I think here, you know, it's fine. So pressing again. And your best press is good to have. Get through a lot of best press.
Oh, and it makes your room smell lovely as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
I really like the lavender. I really like the lavender.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just makes a difference to the project. If you...
It doesn't damage it in any way, does it? Even some of them are like, that one's got like pink in it, all these different colours, aren't there? The lavender one.
It's actually it's in the lavender bottle, but it's a rose one.
Oh.
Just to travel with, I just decanted it into the smaller bottle. But yeah, it is very...
I don't think have we got any best press in stock? No, it comes in and it disappears. Whenever you hear me go, we've got best press, that's why. It's because it always disappears.
I know my very first show, it was an early bird, so we'd got it like everywhere. And yeah, it was, you need to get it when you can, don't you?
Yes.
So, at that, literally, so you would just keep going and building the side of your border.
Brilliant.
And then, obviously, I won't be able to sew that to that because I've only got 2. But you can see how effective.
Oh, it's so effective, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look really cool. But yeah, so it's a lovely book. The instructions are, you know, they're very concise, nice graphics.
And it does at the end of the book as well give you a bit of a demo on binding as well, doesn't it? And it does talk you through about quilting.
I know, and you were asking earlier about...
Yeah, wadding. Do you have a personal preference on
I like
wadding?
that 80-20.
Right.
But equally, the polyester wadding is fine. I mean, if I'm doing like cushions and small projects, I probably will use a polyester. It's better value for money, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
a big project like this, then I like the 80-20.
If you're putting it onto a bed, I suppose it gives it lovely drape, doesn't it? It will sit heavier. And in fact, I think it was Sally Ann as well who said if you hang it on a wall also, sometimes you want that weight for it to sit.
Yeah, that is a good point, because thinking about it, this would make quite a striking wall hanging, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you, or if you wanted to, you could piece them and make a table runner.
Yeah.
I must admit, I do end up doing, sort of looking and thinking, oh, if I could chop that up and do this. But you can make cushions out of it. Or...
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because it says there's 11 projects in there, but actually if you mix and match blocks, or if you make a quilt into a cushion, or into, like they've got the little bread basket or napkin basket, haven't they, in there? You could do all sorts.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you ever so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
When are you back with us?
Well, I think next week.
Next week? Oh, brilliant. Do you know what you're making yet?
No.
Good luck.
Surprise!
Thank you so much. You're so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Right, we're going to have a quick recap of all the bundles. For anybody who has not yet checked out This Is How You Shop. Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping. Welcome back. Right, so should we have a quick recap on the bundles in the book? The book is brilliant. It really, really is. As I say, you've got 11 different projects, all fantastic value for money at just £8.99. It says sometimes all you need is a small pop of colour, a quilted throw or a simple table topper to complete a room. I absolutely agree. You know, sometimes if you just got plain walls or bare walls and you just want to dress it up a bit, this could be a beautiful winter quilt, couldn't it? I'm all for Christmas and more of your novelty Christmas sort of things, but this could be more of like the winter quilt that just lasts, because I hate taking Christmas decorations down and then it all being bare. So this is great for that. There's so many great projects though. I mean, there's loads of lovely projects. I love this, your home sweet home. That is beautiful. Imagine somebody who's just moved home. That'd be a really nice gift for somebody. Star pillows. You've got the lovely maple leaf cushion. That's so nice. Because you could do this with like felt, couldn't you? Like a wool felt, and give it really great texture. So much that you could do. You've got all of your full-size templates included in the book as well, with great images, fab photography. It does talk you through, this one's an example for a confident beginner, so it does tell you, you know, if you've done a bit of sewing before, then it's going to help, but it does talk you through step by step very clearly, as Sarah explained. So if you do want the book, be quick to check out. It's just £8.99. It's on its own separate to bundles today, as I know a lot of people maybe have got fabric in their stash or just after the book for different projects. So we've done it individually. Now the bundle that we've seen up on the wall is this one. Now this will make the full finished size quilt, which I believe was 40. I think it was 40 by 68 if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, hang on. Or maybe you were right, Kat. 48 by 60. 48 by 60. So you have your purple, which is beautiful, all 6 meters of fabric in total. Purple, your cream, your sky blue, your grey, all with this lovely mottled effect. And they're all different pre-cuts. So you've got a lot of this fabric. I think it's 2 meters. 2.5 meters, in fact, 2.5 meters. So you've got it all cut ready to go. So that's 1.5 meters of cream, 1.5 meters of sky, metre of grey and 0.5 metre of peacock blue. £53.99. So for anybody who is starting out, like Sarah said, when you get these home, you know they're all going to work together. The colours complement each other beautifully. And our team have already sorted out, right, what size fabrics you're going to need. So then you can just get on with your sub-cutting, get on with your cutting and sewing, the exciting bit. So it's all the hard work sort of done for you. We've also got the lovely warm orange. And these are beautiful. Look at that. That's 2.5 metres of orange. You get loads in there for a quilt kit. That's a fab price, isn't it? $53.99. So you've got your 2.5 metres, 1.5 metres of cream, 1.5 metres of tan. I love that tan as well. That's lovely. Almost like your terracotta pots. It's lovely. You've then also got 1 metre of your purple, which is blackberry, and then 0.5 metre of sunshine. 6 metres of fabric in total. And you know, even if you've got a different project in mind, if you've got a quilt project in mind, you're getting loads of fabric here. I mean, that is 6 metres of fabric, and they complement each other beautifully. So if you want to try something else, maybe if you want to try one of the Inspiring Improv quilts, that'd look lovely in the tree trunk one, wouldn't it? Look amazing. £53.99 for all of that fabric. Now, also, I was going to mention the what, sorry? Oh yeah, let's do this first, 1 second. So, the Inspiring Improv book from Nicholas Ball, who we've introduced a few times now, and we are so pleased to have it back in stock. Price is fantastic. It's $23.99, and it will give you some brilliant techniques. It says explore the freeing power of improvised piecing with Nicholas Ball. Follows his 6 step-by-step techniques to practice stitching fabric together in a liberating way to create units and sections that can be pieced into truly unique quilts. Yeah, she demonstrated 3 of the techniques today. It says improv piecing doesn't have to mean chaotic end results. Look into the different 12 projects that are included in the book. They're sophisticated, beautiful quilts with structure and focusing on repeating blocks and large scale designs. So don't get me wrong, improvising doesn't always mean chaos. It's being creative and using your creative mind. You're obviously tuned in, I'm presuming, because you enjoy sewing and crafting and you're creative. So it's about unleashing that creative mind of yours. If you've been thinking, I'd love to know how people design their own quilts, and I'd love to, I've followed my step-by-step instructions. I'm like it with cooking. Sarah used it as a cooking analogy. I am definitely one of those step-by-step cooking people. I can't just look in the cupboard and throw something together, but I absolutely admire people who can, and I'm always like, I wish I knew, right, what is it, the techniques that I need to know to put these ingredients together for them to work, instead of just chucking everything into a pot. And this is what this book will teach you. It will tell you the techniques and give you the tools to be able to free that creativity in you. $23.99, but still designing your own projects and quilts. Very exciting. £23.99. Loads of us have loved this book in the past, so check out as soon as you can. Also in today's show, we've introduced obviously Pattern Preacher. If you type in on the website Pattern Preacher, then you'll be able to see all of the patterns, even the ones that they haven't introduced yet, will be on the website. Today we saw the Sienna trousers and the Olivia dress, which were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This was the dress. I mean, it's gorgeous, isn't it? And the big Piazzo pants were gorgeous. So just a quick reminder anyway, to have a look on the website and check out of your baskets if you've got any of the patterns or fabrics in your basket. It's only 1p&p all day long. Right, I'm not going to get on my high horse about this, but because I've already screamed and shouted at everybody, I think, about these clips. It's the last day that we can get them at these prices, though. I did say I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the price on these. I thought, oh, maybe we've negotiated that we can always offer it this special price. I have been told it's the last day today at this price. 50 of them for $9.99. Value for money is fantastic. It's 19p a clip. If you do then want to go for the bigger bundles, it's slightly better value for money. But our team have worked so hard to be able to get us these multi-purpose sewing clips that are fantastic quality at a brilliant price. So you can see they open really lovely and wide. And whether it is for you to get organised, like Sarah was suggesting earlier on, whether you're using them for your binding, whether you're using them for multiple layers, with bag making, if you're using them on fabrics that you don't necessarily want to pin, like a PU, keeping all of your bits together like your organisation, your EPP, if you're just clipping them whilst you're doing your hand sewing. Very, very useful indeed. I've seen so many different ways, hence why they're called multi-purpose sewing clips. So 50 of them is £9.99. If you do get 100 of them, slightly better value for money. So it makes it 17 pence a clip. There's 100. You're getting all 100 of those. I'm keeping them separate so we can put them back. £17.98 or 150 if you want 15 pence a clip. Last chance on getting them at these prices. We will do our best, obviously, to bring you the best price possible, and it will be the best price possible, but it's the last chance to get them at the early bird special price. We have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you that have checked out on these already, so have a serious think about them. If you want to stock up, never have too many of these. It's going to be brilliant for any sewers across all the boards, whether you're a dressmaker, a bag maker, a quilter, makes, you know, cushions and soft furnishings. These are going to be ideal. So I just wanted to give you a quick heads up on those, only available today. What a busy day we've had. It's been brilliant. I'll be back with you again in the morning, and we've got a great day lined up for you. Have a look at what's in store for you. So we've got Love to Sew mug rugs at 8 o'clock. Is Hannah? No, Hannah's on a holidays. Oh, she's going to be so gutted that she's missing the mug rug show. She loves a mug rug, our Hannah. It's Kat with me again tomorrow. At 9 o'clock, we got some bargains. We got our under £10 show at 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we've got Precious Metals quilt. Ooh. Tell you what, that sounds exciting. We've got Sally Ann Harrison, by the way, with me tomorrow, so she's going to be joining me at 8 and 10 o'clock. And then at 11, we've got Fabulous Fabrics. If you missed today's demonstration of the Olivia dress, that will also be repeated tomorrow. Now, also, we've got brand new canvas fabrics coming up in 11 o'clock as well. Exciting. So those of you that missed yesterday's show with Debbie, if you haven't had your Debbie fix today, then you can stay tuned and watch yesterday's replay. The pattern of the dress that was demonstrated with Adele is unfortunately sold out, but have a look at the demonstration, have a look at the fabrics that are still available. It's been lovely to have your company today. Thank you to our gorgeous guests as well, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.